You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon studs and studettes. This is Coach Brett with another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon. Got a really cool show for you guys this week. We have, this is really good, we have a self-defense expert. Waylan Green, one of my best friends, is going to join us on the show via Skype and talk to us about how to be safe out there on the bike and on the run. And we cover every kind of scenario. We've got dog attacks, bad guys lurking in the bushes, running at night, on your bike by yourself, like all kinds of tips, man. It's really, really cool. And then after that, we have some questions that I answer on, let's see, when is the Iron Baby coming up? That's a self-supported triathlon that I put on. We have somebody answer the question about should you pay attention to your cadence on the run and run by cadence. And let's see, we have how frequently injuries can slow you down from your goals. And let's see if we have one more in here. A little bit of Hornet Juice comments and good stuff like that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the interview with Waylan. Oh, and we also have a great training log, tons and tons of stuff in there. I start trying out a new fuel, has awesome results, and a whole bunch more fun. So let's go ahead and get started with Waylan Green from, I think he's in North Carolina, and we talk all about how to be safe out there on the bike. I learned a few things. And my mindset's a little bit different after talking with him, and I think you'll really, really benefit from this. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's call up Waylan. Waylan, where are you? Pick up the phone, man. Pick up the phone. There you are. Let's go.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Let's see.
We're recording.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I tried to do it on FaceTime and wouldn't put any video through.
No, you have to do it through Skype if you want to do video.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I'm using Skype.
Skype, baby?
You got to know the face of your attacker. Are you ready to roll, man?
Yeah, man, whenever you are.
Okay, let's do this.
All right.
am here, and it is an honor to be here with my good friend, Waylan Green. How is it going, man?
Going good, brother. How you doing, man?
I am doing really, really good. So what happened is I caught up with Waylan from military school days. We caught up on Facebook and through another best friend, and then we hung out together a couple of weekends ago, that was one of the best weekends of my life.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Loved
it. And so talking with Waylan and catching up over the years that we've been apart, found out that Waylan is a security expert of not just of sorts, but of every kind of angle, and we'll go over that in a minute, a lot of your experience that you've been through. And
cool.
Then, and even did consulting for security. And I thought, okay, what is a good reason to call Waylan and just talk about anything?
Just share stories.
And because seriously, Waylan is one of my best friends ever, and any reason to get on the phone and talk with him is great because he lives in North Carolina now and I live in Texas. So I thought, it hit me. I'm like, oh, we should do a podcast interview about personal security for triathletes, and that would include jogging and biking. And so I wrote up a long list of questions and sent it to him about a week ago, and for him to go through, and of like typical things that can happen to triathletes or joggers and bikers, right? I don't believe you're any more experienced in preventing shark attacks, so than the average person.
I would treat a shark attack the same way as I treat a dog or a person attack.
Yeah, punch it in the nose.
Go for the vulnerable areas. That's it,
the
man.
thumb in the eyes and punch it in the nose. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So
can do the Patrick Swayze thing and reach in and rip the throat out. That takes training.
Oh man.
Beat them with their own arms. Sharks don't have arms. That's good.
Oh, you know what? While we're talking, let's look up what was that? We couldn't remember the name of that Patrick Swayze movie that he was in. Because you were this job. You were Patrick Swayze, but you did this for quite a while.
8 years. Yep.
About Roadhouse is the name of the movie.
Roadhouse.
That's
every bouncer's Bible movie right there.
Okay, so you were the head bodyguard, the head bouncer at a huge club in North Carolina. What city?
Yeah, a couple of clubs in Chapel Hill. There were about 3 or 4 clubs that I was working pretty much at the same time. I kind of became a local commodity. Uh-huh. And whenever these clubs would have big events or important people or they were really short-staffed, they'd call me and pay me extra money under the table just to show up and help them with it and train their guys. And I was the cooler, man.
Yeah, cool.
You only fight when you have to fight. Well, when we know that is, I will tell you.
Yeah. That's straight out of the movie.
I can't remember the line. I can't remember all the lines.
Yeah. Okay, so for people that nobody except for me in the triathlon world has really seen you, you're 6'5"? 6'5".
Yep.
Yeah. And what do you weigh? What did you weigh when you were a bouncer?
About the same as I am now. About somewhere between 235, 245. My weight fluctuates depending on what I ate that day.
Yeah. Whose throat you ripped out that day and ate it?
That's right.
So
how many hearts I had that day.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, so we were in military school together, and then out of high school you joined the Marines, right?
Right. Went to the Marine Corps, served 4 years in infantry as an anti-tank assaultman, which is pretty much just saying I was just a big bullet sponge.
Yeah.
Instead of being a small bullet sponge, I was a big one.
Did they send you off to Afghanistan at this point, or not?
No, this was back in the early 90s. It was right after Desert Storm. So I just missed the invasion and was pretty disappointed with that. That's all I wanted to do. But whatever.
Right.
But the good thing was the unit that I served with, it was a weapons company. Mm-hmm. It's in the 2nd Marine Division. And we deployed all the time. We were going to Japan. We were going to the Mediterranean. We were the first ones to hit the beach in Haiti in '94 when we were trying to establish some stability over there. So we got to do some good things, some good training. Did a lot of cross-training with Royal British Marines and Spanish Marines and did Arctic training in Mount Fuji, Japan, jungle survival training in Okinawa. Got to do desert training in 29 Palms, California. So got to really do a lot of great things. Cool.
Okay, and then was it after that you were a bouncer for all those years? And then you signed up for the Army?
Yeah, after I got out of the Marine Corps, I wanted to start a family. So I met my wife. I was in the Marine Corps, and we've been married ever since. So we've been together over 20 years now. We've got twin 10-year-old girls.
Yeah.
But when I got out of the Marine Corps, I just felt real displaced. It was either be a cop or be a hitman. That's pretty much all the Marines train you to do. Yeah. And I really didn't want to have to look over my shoulder the rest of my life, although you have to do it no matter which profession you choose, I imagine this day and age.
Yeah.
But so I was just going to be a cop. That's all I was training to be, but I wanted to be a good cop, so I wanted to get my degree first, and was doing part-time jobs. I was bouncing. I was doing contract security, unarmed contract security, just being that security guard of the old days with the suit, and walking around doing some corporate security, industrial security kind of stuff. And but I was bouncing Wednesdays through Saturdays for what started out just a couple of years, and I was making such good money at it. It was all cash under the table, and I loved doing it. That was like my social outlet. That's where I got to talk to people and meet the people, and I really got to exercise, training that I was doing. At the same time, I was also I was a Muay Thai instructor, Muay Thai kickboxing instructor, a Kenpo street fighting instructor, and also a boxing coach.
Right.
So everything I was teaching my students during this time, this was between 1995 and 2000, everything I was teaching my students and learning myself, I could apply, almost nightly, Wednesday through Saturday, on how to deconflict major conflict. So it was a challenge. It was a challenge all the time on not just survival, but can I control and manage the situation? And when it got out of control, can I regain control? So it just became a challenge.
Yeah, and if people listen to the show a lot, they've heard me mention offhand that I was a bouncer for almost a year. And this is in a one college town, massive university, 60,000 students, and football game weekends. It's just insane. And
it's a nightmare.
And the amount of fights and everything that I had to get into and break up or escort people outside, escort, quote unquote. And then and I can only imagine you were telling us that Chapel Hill is home of like 3 universities or what?
Oh, yeah, you've got Duke, you've got UNC, you've got Central, you've got State, and they're all within a 20-mile radius of each other, 25-mile radius.
Yeah.
And during basketball season, during football season, you got all the big, hunky studs that are coming out and want to establish dominance, and wherever they go, they want to be the most important person there and ruining other people's time. So you know how difficult that can be.
Right, and my scariest moment was getting into a shoving match with an All-American linebacker who, when I touched him and pushed him, I realized his skin was harder than my entire body. And he was wearing a guy that has enough nerve to wear no shirt and then a vest out as his evening wear. And he's an All-American.
That's your first danger sign right there.
Yeah, All-American linebacker for one of the biggest universities in the world. Yeah, you're in trouble at that point.
Oh, man.
Okay, so
absolutely.
I survived that one. But and then you signed up for the Army.
Yeah, I went to the Army Reserves. I did a 5-year break in service, and I was like, you know what? I really want to serve my country again. Don't really want to go back to active duty because then I'd have to transplant, my future family, and I'd have those military brat kids, and I didn't want that. So I decided to join the reserves. There was a military police unit in Raleigh, not far from where I was living.
Right.
And I thought, this is too easy, man. So I became a military police officer in the Army Reserves, and come to find out, this was before the wars were really kicking off in Afghanistan and Iraq. And the reserves and National Guard weren't really being utilized a whole lot during that time. So training was a little bit of a joke.
Right.
And here I came all locked and cocked, prior active duty Marine, to this Army Reserve unit, who they're, the first thing they tell me after they see me is like, hey, you need to relax.
You need to calm down.
You need to settle down. The day is going to be at least 8 hours long. No matter how hard we work, it's still going to last 8 hours.
Yeah.
So, but it was hard to get that Marine Corps training out of the head, where it's attention to detail and working hard and playing harder kind of deal. All these guys played hard. They also ate hard and exercised little.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a culture shock.
So you did, I think you said like 4 tours in Afghanistan?
No. I did. I only did 1 tour in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I just got back last April.
Right.
Where now I'm in the National Guard, the Army National Guard. I took a break in service after the reserves, and about 5 years later, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back in, but this time I'm not going to go enlisted. I want to go in as an officer. Instead of complaining about how things are done, I'm going to be part of the change. So I got my degree in criminal justice, my 4-year degree, my bachelor's, and joined the National Guard, was enlisted for a year, went to OCS, and became a commissioned officer. So I deployed to Afghanistan last year in the Eastern Province as a platoon leader. So I got to lead military police soldiers in combat operations. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was everything I imagined, and as horrible as I could imagine it could be.
Right.
We all had our trials and tribulations, but this was actually the first time I'd ever deployed with the military and had children. So that was a totally different experience for me. Whereas before it was just my wife and I. I'm like, hey, see you when I see you. I love you much. All right. If I don't make it back, well, the documents are.
Right.
Not a huge deal, but having kids and having my babies grow up without me for a year was a challenge.
Right. Yeah, that's really hard.
Yeah, man.
Wow, what do we do now? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so well, again, so catching up with Waylan and getting all this after I'd not seen him for how many years did we figure out it had been since we hung out together?
Since
1989, right?
Yeah, man, 89. Actually, no,
So
it was the very beginning of 1990.
So let's say 25 years, right? It was a
Yeah,
lot to
somewhere
catch
around
up on. Okay,
Take a
so
month.
I want to have you on more times too. So, because I think
Whenever you need me, man.
I think that what we could do is before we ought to mention to people that for them to send in emails and
Sure.
hit me up on Twitter and more questions and get Waylan back on for his advice and some
Absolutely. I'd love
tips
to.
and stories and get you back on would be really great. So
That would be awesome.
people don't know, but at Marine Military Academy where we went to high school, we woke up probably 6 days a week, at least 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and ran probably 3 or 4 miles. They had a cycling
Yep.
team, which I think if I was on it, I would have gotten on my bike and just ridden north as fast as I could. And
And we were right by the airport that you could see those flights coming and going every day. In your
Yeah.
first year there, you just wish you were on those flights.
it's a full-on boarding school where they take your clothes away from you when you show up, shave your head, and they
All
give you
boys.
all boys, no girls, all military school, freshly retired Marine Corps
Drill instructors,
instructors,
gunnery
gunnery
sergeants,
sergeant,
master sergeants,
And-
Vietnam-era guys.
and they had a swim
Hardcore.
team and a track team, and so it
Fencing,
explains,
boxing.
fencing, boxing. They had a flight school, like all this stuff is just really intense, and it's no surprise that most of us that went to that school ended up being really athletic and craving more action when we got older. So you and I are very typical of the kind of people that were there and then left there. So let's go over to the interview. Here's our notes. Okay, so let's start with jogging.
Cool.
So, and let's start with jogging at night. And one of my tips is with the clothing is, in contrast to running around a combat zone, I recommend that people wear bright clothes. So I have a black lab, and running with him, I put like a really bright colored handkerchief around his neck, like one of these neon green ones, so that cars can see him. And I make sure I wear a white. I'd wear any kind of bright colored running hat. And what do you have as far as like at night, as far as clothing and being out running? What would you do?
Well, anytime that I'm going to exercise, first of all, you got to talk about avoidance versus ignorance.
Oh.
You know, do you want to be a victim or do you not want to be a victim?
Right.
Because if you choose environments that make it highly likely you're going to be a victim, you know, and unless you're just really looking for the challenge of getting away from an attacker, you know, there's some common tips that are widely known. If you did any kind of internet search, it's out there. You know, running on sidewalks, looking people in the eyes and giving a greeting. You know, to kind of make yourself a hard target. Running, if you're running the roadways, you know, keeping left of the road, face oncoming traffic. Just simple rules to avoid being a victim or a target. But also attempting to avoid evening, dusk, you know, dawn, nighttime type of hours. One, you're less visible. Two, it's easier for attackers to hide during those times, and it just makes you more susceptible. So if, in fact, you have to run in those less lighted hours, whenever it may be, try to run in good neighborhoods, avoid the rundown sections of towns, you know, the dilapidated houses and everything like that. Choose your area wisely, wherever you're going to exercise that.
Yeah, there's lots of neighborhoods, if you think about it, that have streetlights and lots don't.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. And stay with the lit lights, too, not the street lights that are all out. So,
yeah, that's a good sign right
I can
there.
run here.
Yeah. So we were considering moving to one neighborhood, and then we didn't because there's no streetlights. And I like to run at night, and I want my wife to be able to run at night. I want her to be able to run without being so afraid, you know. And, okay. So.
Well, you know, running with someone else or running with your dog like you do is one of the most popular choices and a good effective choice.
Yeah.
Because really no predator wants a fight. They
Right.
want someone who's easy, they can take care of quickly. Whatever they plan on doing, they want to rob you quickly. They want to beat you quickly. They want to take your money quickly. They want to do it all quickly. They don't want to sit there and tussle.
Right. They don't want to get injured while doing it.
Absolutely. Unless, of course, you're strolling in their neighborhood and they're wearing the gang colors and they're going to tell you you're in the wrong area and they're going to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
You can be as loud as you want to be. They don't care. So, again, having some situational awareness and avoiding some of those critical areas that you really need to stay out of.
Okay. So what is for running, you want some stuff that's kind of lightweight. What would be
Absolutely.
what would be good gear to take with you if you're running? And not even at night anymore. I'm just talking about at night and during the day. So I have on my list a phone. I always run with a phone.
Absolutely. It's critical.
And because also the phones nowadays have maps on them. If you get turned around, you find your way back. And then mace or tear. I don't know. What do you think people should use?
Yeah, OC pepper spray, oleoresin capsicum. It's a good defense tool. If you can get the foam, that's the best. As far as soon as you hit somebody in the face, it's going to stick, and it doesn't dissipate easily.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get a small can of foam, they sell little 5-ounce little cans all over the place. So
what kind of mace? What did you call it?
It's oleoresin capsicum.
Okay.
That's a general term, the OC pepper spray.
Okay.
It's most effective. You can get all kinds of bear sprays, but do your research, though. Go online. There are numerous companies, numerous labels, numerous concentration of the oleoresin that's in there, which is actually the burning content within there.
Yeah.
Or the capsicum, excuse me. The capsicum is the burning element that's in there. But you definitely want some type of oil base. Now, the danger of an oil-based OC is that it is more flammable. So unless you're running and smoking, I wouldn't worry about it.
Not very common.
Whatever works best. Yeah, that's right. Or if the bad guy's smoking, no big deal. It's his loss.
That's his loss. Or when we were in military school, we were probably smoking and running many times.
Yeah, exactly. Or smoking right after running, or during, before.
So,
but when I go out, I like to carry. I know they're out of style now, but however you choose to carry, I like to have a fanny pack. To tell you the truth, I really don't go anywhere by myself. When I'm not wearing street clothes, when I'm wearing athletic attire, I do like to carry a fanny pack to carry my cell phone, carry my keys. You can carry a whistle around your neck, which is the best place to put it, because if you get tackled and you're on the ground, you can still reach it quickly.
Oh, whistle. Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, a whistle. Yeah.
A nice high-pitched whistle, but any whistle will do. Try to avoid the ones with the P's, because sometimes the P will stick and the whistle's not very loud. So, the ref whistles with the shrill in there.
Yeah.
Avoid that. Just there are all kinds of rape whistles and warning type whistles that are
My
out
running bag has there's like a running backpack that REI makes, and it's got a whistle built into the strap. So I think a lot more of those do. You got to look for that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, what about a dog attack? So let me give you an example. There's a street that I like to run down, and I want Kai to run with me down this street, but there's a Dalmatian that always wants to run out, and it's pretty aggressive. And, my kid's only 9 years old. He's like 70 pounds, 80, 90 pounds. And this dog could rip him up while I'm trying to kick it to get off of him. What are some tips on stopping a dog from attacking me, just preventing it in general, and what to do if it actually gets to me?
Right. Well, first, like we first talked about, the avoidance versus ignorance. Obviously, avoidance is always the best defense.
Right.
But if you do find yourself in that situation and you do have a dog, it depends on the breed and it depends on the actual intent of the dog. If the dog plans to get you, you're not going to stop it. He's going to get you. But you can reduce the amount of injuries, the severity of the injuries, and you can effectively fight him off if you're able to stay calm. Now, this is not something easy to train for. This is a mental thing. Okay. Because as soon as the dog comes at you, you want to panic. You want to just start swinging your hands, like a fifth grader in a school fight.
Right.
Not even thinking about where they're landing.
I'm good at that.
But most of us are. And until you get beat up enough, you're like, wow, that's not real effective.
That's not effective.
I learn something new.
Yeah.
I'm tired of my nose and my eyes swelling up and hurting all the time. Just the same as if it was a person attack, you want to go towards soft, vulnerable tissue. Yeah. The dog is automatically going to want to go for the upper extremities. He's first going to try to go for an arm, something that's easy for him to latch onto, which is not a big deal. I mean, if you do get dog bites in your arm, yes, it's going to be extremely painful. It's going to be excruciatingly painful. But the positive side is, you know where the dog's face is now. He is a target that is no longer moving. Yes,
right.
He's tearing through your flesh and ripping some meat open, but you know where his head is.
Right.
Once you know where his head is and you can walk onto his head, use your free hand, gouging eyeballs, grabbing ears, see if you can remove it from the head. You know, grab his loose jowls, you know, the gums, the flaps over his teeth, and start pulling in the opposite direction, you know, over the top of his face.
Oh,
you know, and
ouch.
he's going to be struggling and he's going to be shaking and, you know, trying to tear a piece off of you. And I guarantee if you hurt him, he's going to let go, but he's going to attack again, most likely, if he's a very aggressive breed. So get ready for a fight. Make lots of noise, scream, make yourself a large target. You know, hold your hands out. You know, don't back down. If you try to turn and run, he's going to run you down, and then he's got you from behind, and there's not much defense about that. From that. So face your attacker, and you've got your weapons in front, and to protect your vulnerable areas. Protect your neck. Use the bones in your forearms to protect your neck, your groin, your carotid artery in your neck, your femoral artery and your thighs. Protect those at all costs. Lose a finger, lose a hand. Do not let that dog penetrate those areas, because by the time EMS comes, hopefully you haven't bled out.
Right.
And that's the biggest fear. If he rips your arms up, you're going to have some severe bleeding, but it should be slow enough that hopefully you'll get medical attention if you're in a populated area. Again, avoiding those desolated areas.
So what are the arteries again? The neck, the inner thigh?
Yep, the carotid artery in the neck, and the femoral artery in the thigh, the upper thigh on the inside.
Right.
If anything lacerates those areas, then you could easily bleed out within a good 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Okay, so
and you don't want to do that.
So one thing that I've done, and it worked really well when I think about it, I should make it more of a habit, is I have a bamboo stick that I run with when I run.
Absolutely.
And that thing worked really well. And I popped a dog on the face to get him that Dalmatian, now that I think about it, I popped him on the nose, and boy, every time now that he comes after me, he stops. And
there you go.
And he doesn't follow through anymore. After I didn't want to pop him on the nose, but I had to at some point. And then
absolutely. Okay,
so one time I got surrounded by 3 dogs that were.
Ooh, that's not good.
So what should I just keep spinning around, or do I when one of them goes after me, do I do one at a time?
Attack one. Find out which one is the most dominant, and attack that one. And it's really a pack mentality. If you attack the leader, in some situations, I'm not saying this is going to be ideal for all situations, because usually the alpha dog is going to be the strongest and the meanest, and your biggest foe.
Yeah.
So, but if you find yourself cornered and there's no place to go except through the dogs, or they have you surrounded, and it's getting critical, another thing I pack in my bag is a pocket knife.
Yeah.
A pocket knife, pepper spray. If you got pepper spray in one hand, pocket knife in the other, then you're stabbing and jabbing and spraying. And I guarantee if you can reach out and touch them before they can touch you, then you're an animal they don't want to mess with.
Yeah. All right. I know this doesn't sound positive, but I mean, this really does happen. It happens a lot. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's move from to a different animal, and so now we're going to talk about humans, and we're going to do like stalker versus attacker. So stalker, like you're running along and you think somebody, and you said this at the beginning of our conversation. I want to touch on this in a second. That I thought was really, really smart. You said make eye contact, like you acknowledge with people that you're here, right? Or that you see things. So like say I see somebody I think there's somebody in the bushes kind of trailing me. Do I yell, "Hey, I see you," or something like that? Or what? What do I do?
No. A lot of times attackers and predators in general, they want to blend in. Yeah. They don't want you to be able to easily identify them or identify them as a threat. So they may even come up to you, "Hey, what time is it? Hey, do you have smoke? Yeah. Hey, can I get some change?" Yeah. They may confront you.
Yeah.
But if you're someone that walks with their head up, or runs, or bikes with their head up, full situational awareness, and you see someone who's got eye lock with you, avoid them. First of all, maintain eye contact and change your direction.
Yeah.
Not completely opposite where they're behind you, but where it would be more effort for them to keep up with you. Now, if they start going into a little gate, depends on your own abilities, your capabilities, and what defensive tools you brought with you. It's going to determine your response. But yeah, making direct eye contact, speaking to them. You see someone in the bushes. Hey, how's it going? You okay? Do you need any help back there? Take an affirmative stance. A strong stance.
Control the situation.
And let them know.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you maintain control, then you take that power away from them. They want to be in control. They want to have the element of surprise. And when you take that all away from them, then you're a harder target. Now, if they're specifically targeting you like some kind of stalker, then you let them know you see them.
Right.
Hey, why do you keep showing up? Why am I always seeing you? Now, if you go to a running park and it's the same person exercising all the time, you don't want to be saying that to everybody who's always there. They're like, man, this person's a wacko. I'm just, exercise here all the time.
Yeah.
But if you really think you're being stalked and someone's, intentionally tracking you, then, make eye contact, show, even if you're not a type A person, pretend like you're one. This is where your acting skills can really come into play and really save your life.
Right.
Like not coming across as aggressive. You don't want to come across as aggressive or ready for battle, because if you corner a dog, they're going to fight their way out, no matter what kind of dog they are.
Right.
But you're very affirmative. You're very take charge. Hey, how you doing today? And very official. How you doing today? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you need any assistance? Or nice day today, isn't it? As you make eye contact with them, because what they want to find is they want to find someone who's a victim. Victims keep their heads low, avoid eye contact.
Submissive. Yeah.
Exactly. Submissive, someone they can easily dominate. And
right.
when you show you've got that type of personality, even if you've got a small stature, a small frame, you could still be, someone that's going to be very loud and very difficult for them to overpower or to quiet.
You were talking about the alpha dog in a group of dogs. A lot of times, if you pay attention and you notice the alpha dog, it's not always, it's very infrequently the largest dog. There's always some little dog in there that's running the pack, and you can tell
all
by
about attitude,
it
man.
Bosses the other dogs around. You're like, look at that little beagle bossing around that German Shepherd, and it's just all attitude. And so I guess the key words were act official and confident. If you keep that in mind,
absolutely.
So check this one out. I was running down this dark street, which is not smart, at night, and this lady comes up to me in her car and tells me that there's another car, and there was another car way down at the end of the road, and she was worried that the people in that car were kind of casing her house, and and that we're going to do something to her, and then she told me, and I could get that, and then she told me to get in the car. And to drive down there with her, and right then, I stood up tall and I said, I don't get in the car with anybody. Sorry, like that, And I said, and then I pulled out my phone, right, because I had my phone on me, and I said, do you want me to call 911?
There you go.
And she said, well, no. And I said, well, okay then. And I said, I'll stand here for a while to make sure you're okay, but then I got to go, like that. And I think in that situation, I handled that one really well.
Absolutely, man. You did the exact right thing. And the thing is, people assume that most criminals or majority of criminals are really, they're dim, they're not very bright, and they have no tactics. When in all actuality, I'd say probably half the criminals that are operating do this as a living or as a thrill, and they've gotten really good at it. They know how to pull at your heartstrings. They know how to tell you the right thing. They come across as that all-American, stand-up citizen, hey, I need your help for this issue, or something like that. And you always want to be that helpful person. You want to be that helpful citizen, and that's what they prey upon.
There could be somebody in the back seat of that car, and as soon as I get in the front seat, they grab me from behind, choke me out, take my wallet, take me and drop me off in a ditch somewhere. So I don't know.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Oh, all
you
right.
did the right thing.
Okay, so let's say now we got an actual real attacker, and let's do from behind versus from ahead. So let's say I'm running along and somebody comes up in front of me and says, hey, I know now that they're an attacker, right? So they've gotten within some kind of distance of me. Like say the stalker goes actually to in my face and now is like trying to do something to me. So what should I be doing then?
Well, if you've got someone who's presented themselves as a definite threat,
right,
it's going to be circumstantial. There's no, silver bullet that can take care of all situations. But in your situation, someone has presented themselves as a definite threat in front of you, and if they don't have a weapon, if they're just open hands, free hands, you've got to make a choice: fight or flight. What are your options? Do you have an out? Because obviously avoidance is going to be your best thing, and you live to fight another day.
Right.
If you think you can outrun this person, or this neighborhood well enough, or you can scale enough fences, or you can go to a house, do that, because you have nothing to prove, and severe scars or broken limbs really aren't worth a thug that wants to prove something to you or his buddy.
Right.
But if in fact you do find yourself cornered with no escape, and you got someone in front of you who's obviously not going to back down, then again, throw on that alpha mentality without being full of conflict, and just say, look, man, you and I don't need this. You're this kind of person. I'm this kind of person. I don't have any money on me. I don't have anything that's of value. So you doing this to me really serves no purpose. See if you can, use a little bit of verbal jiu-jitsu on him. If that doesn't work, then, if he comes on a full attack, the first thing he's going to want to do is either choke you or hit you in the face.
Right.
That's the common first move for most attackers. They either want to get you in a chokehold from behind, or they want to punch you in the face because they want that knockout punch. So now that you know what their targets are, it's going to be up to you to either train yourself to defend against those moves, which is always a smart thing.
Okay.
If you want to be a good citizen who can protect themselves and others, take training, take martial arts training, take self-defense training, learn to box, learn some type of skill, because it will one day probably save your life or someone else's. And you're going to have to use those skills to defend yourself.
Right.
And aim towards soft targets. Throw your punches at his throat, not his heads or fast-moving targets. Aim towards the top of his chest, and a lot of times you'll connect with the throat, and if not the throat, then the jaw, which is the perfect place to aim. Don't aim for the forehead or the bony parts of the head. You're just going to end up breaking your hand, and now you only have one defensive tool left.
Right.
If you're able to get a hold of fingers, there are no rules when you're fighting for your life.
Right.
None. They don't have any rules, neither should you.
Yeah.
So you're reaching for soft skin, you're reaching for the inside of his cheek to rip his cheek out, to pull an ear off, to gouge an eye out.
Scrape the hell out of them with your fingernails too. Yeah.
Exactly,
bite,
man. I mean,
bite like crazy.
Stomp on the top of their feet, break their instep. Grab fingers, pull them all the way back till you hear multiple cracks. Do whatever you got to do. If you can find a rock, a stick, a piece of glass, anything that's around you, most anything can be used as a weapon, use it. Yeah. And if you got someone that's standing off with you, just grab the nearest thing that's movable that you can hold and face him with it and say, look, if you really want to do this, then it's going to be a hard fight for you, because I'm wanting to go home.
Right.
That's got to be your mentality, and it's got to be proven in your actions.
So if somebody comes up and tries to grab you from behind, does that thing where you stomp on the toes really work? Does that and kick them in the shins?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Use the heel. Use the heel of your foot. Their feet are going to be somewhere near your feet.
Yeah.
So what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to put their arms all the way around your neck and bend you backwards so that you cannot get a visual of them or your surroundings.
Right.
Again, situational awareness is going to be key, because hopefully you've seen them. You had some sort of idea. You had that gut feeling that something wasn't right, and you kind of mentally prep for it. If this guy comes at me, here are my escape routes. Here's some nearby weapons. Here's what I can do. It's really just about mentally preparing yourself all the time. Not making you paranoid, but just being prepared. I
got an idea for another interview on another episode that we do.
Yeah, man.
We cover some good martial arts or boxing or self-defense classes and to take. Like just kind of go over those. So let's keep that in mind for a future show. That'd be really, really cool, because now we're getting into, what should, because you recommended, get some self-defense classes. Well, what are some good ones? And we should go over that in another show. That'd be really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole other conversation. And that's why even though if you have training, I mean, I've had training, but I'm not the silverback, alpha dog of the entire world. There are plenty of people out there who are able and willing to prove to me that they are the better man, that they know more than I know. So that's why I always have an extra weapon with me.
Right.
I usually have a blade. I conceal carry as well. When I take my family out, I always carry concealed, where I can legally, because I do follow the laws. But yeah, I mean, it's just about mental preparation. That's
Right.
the best way to have self-defense and to protect yourself, is mentally prepared and situational awareness, and avoiding being a victim, being a hard target, and knowing what's going on, man. Don't hang your head and bury your head in the sand and think that's never going to happen to me, because it's not a matter of, if, it's a matter of when.
Right. Let's move on to because I was going to do multiple attackers, but it's kind of like what you said with dogs. It's attack the alpha, I guess, and a lot of the other guys will stop. Or if you attack a small one, you might make an example out of a small one. I guess maybe you have to choose.
Well, it's really about your own abilities.
Yeah.
What can you do? Are you mentally prepared to do this? Are you mentally prepared to be more violent than they are? Because that's truly going to determine, who's going to come out more injured or not.
Right.
Because if you're not mentally prepared to be as violent as you can be to save your own life, and you're going to try to stair-step it, and, I don't want to, so you do a punch to the face, well, they're already 4 steps ahead of you, and they're all over you. Now that one opportunity you had is gone. So Your first move needs to be the most violent and the quickest move and the easiest move that you can think of. And again, martial arts training will give you a lot of practice with doing that.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to cycling. So cycling's a little different than running, because you can actually carry something with you if you wanted to.
Absolutely, man. You can have a little bag attached to your bike, or have a bag on your back.
So let's say it's my situation where I ride around the countryside. Let's say I had a legal concealed carry. Would it be smart to carry a small caliber handgun on me?
It's always a good idea to carry if you're licensed, if you're within the legal limits, and you follow the laws, but also that you practiced. It's not just a matter of getting that certification and then carrying it, because if you have not practiced, if you don't go to the range at least once or twice a month and practice with drawing that weapon out of whatever holster you're carrying it in or whatever bag you're carrying it in, if you're not practicing that, you might as well not even have it.
Okay.
Because if in fact you do have to pull that weapon out, it's not to show a force. It is to use.
It's to use.
The only time you're to draw that weapon is to use it. And when you're drawing it, that means you've got fractions of seconds to get that first round off.
Right.
Or it's going to be a life-taking experience on your end.
Yeah.
With your life being taken.
Yeah.
So it's life or death.
I've got a good story about this. So one time we're riding out in the middle of the countryside, and some dogs started chasing us on bikes. And people are always amazed when I talk about how much this happens in Texas. But if you're from the South in general, maybe, but I know in Texas that we got a problem with dogs running after people and chasing you on the bike. Okay. Right. And unless you're going downhill, you're not going to outrun a dog for a good stretch. No, they are fast. And it's funny. Even like a little tiny dog is fast, and there's not much weight there for them to haul ass. Okay, so we were going around a corner with these dogs chasing us, and then a guy's tire, I think he wrecked because one of the dogs got in front of him, which is a whole nother. I need to cover that in another show. Well, I guess I'll say right now. A dog comes at you. One thing you can do. This is what fighter pilots do. You can actually swerve at the enemy to make them to momentarily divert course. So a dog comes running at you and it's coming out of the ditch, out of the right of way at you. You can actually swerve your bike at it and yell, and it'll make it pause just for a second and jump back, and also know that you're not something to be messed with as easily as it thought it was and thought it could do. And it'll actually give you time, a gap to get away. And then another thing that you can do, this all comes from dogfighting classes, like fighter pilot stuff, is you ride in a tight group until the dogs get right on you, and then you split into like 3 or 4, and then they don't know what to do. They don't know who to chase. And and then you can also lead with a diversion guy. And you're a really, really fast guy that is not worried about the dogs. You know that he can outrun it. outrun the mean dogs in this one area that you know you're about to come upon. You send him up ahead of the pack, and he actually gets a kick out of like trying to outsprint the dogs. It's a good work.
Challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge for him. He's fine. Now those dogs are tired, and then as the rest of the pack with the slower cyclist comes rolling through, those dogs, you'll see them, they're just standing in the road or off to the side of the road panting, trying to catch their breath, and they've got no energy left to try to chase you. These things all work like really well.
That makes total sense, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that pack mentality, and it's, you turn the tables from being a victim into an attacker. You go from being someone who's a victim all of a sudden into a formidable type of entity. You become larger. You're more unpredictable, and they can't predict your moves as easily, and it causes them a little bit of fear.
And but the one thing with the swerving and then the splitting up into groups that you got to watch out for is oncoming traffic and traffic behind you.
Yeah, gotta
so
watch that.
you need to be very aware of the situation before you start doing that kind of crap, because you could get hit by a car coming at you, because now you're acting unpredictably. You swerve at a dog and then swerve back, then the next thing you know, a car hits you. So
absolutely,
you got to be careful when you do that kind of stuff. And also when you split up into, you fly, your formation, you break up into pieces, and then one of you is in oncoming traffic. So
choose the course of action that's within your own capabilities, and if you've maintained good situational awareness, you've already got a plan before you have to react.
Yeah, and this is really important stuff, because I'm starting to take my son with me out on bike rides, and I can defend myself against most dogs. A pit bull would be my limit, or a big aggressive dog would be my limit. But that's kind of rare. But he could actually, like I was saying, like a Dalmatian or like a Doberman or like a German Shepherd or something like that could make mincemeat out of him pretty quick. So I got to watch out for that. Okay, so
hey Brett, I'll tell you another tool that people can buy, and it's legal in most states, and that is an ass baton, a collapsible baton.
Oh yeah.
You can get them up to 24 inches long when they're extended. And, when you got a 2-foot stick that comes out of nowhere and you're able to swing it one-handed and it's got good weight on it, when you make contact, you're going to make a difference right then and there, with your attacker.
That is perfect. So a lot of people that are like really dog friendly would say, just spray it with water, which actually works. You can spray the dog with your water bottle.
Sure.
And they hate that.
Absolutely.
That'll make them, because it's kind of like, it's their eons of evolution of them versus a skunk or snakes, like a cobra or something, like spitting at them.
Yeah.
They don't like being hit with liquid in the face. And then you could tear mace them or something like that. But the cool thing about an asp you just mentioned is it collapses down to really small, and it's really simple.
Absolutely.
And so,
very easy to operate. A quick flick, big strong, flick of the wrist. You got to practice with it a little bit. If collapsing it while you're still riding the bike, that would be the most difficult thing. You're stuck with this 2-foot-long stick now, and you're still trying to ride. The threat's over, and you got to stop, get off your bike, and beat it on the ground to collapse it again.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be okay, though. I think people could probably deal with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart idea. Okay, so I hadn't thought about that one. All right, now let's say...
But I do want to say that I'm a dog lover. I'm not a dog hater. The scenarios that I'm saying, the defensive techniques I'm saying is when your life is in danger.
Right.
If it's a menace, obviously you want to go with the lightest, a deterrence that you possibly can. When it's a dog that's excited, he's just running next to you and barking at you, but not really showing aggressive tendencies, coming at your legs, jumping at you. I'm talking worst case scenarios in my situations with my defensive techniques.
Yeah, most times that I get attacked or chased by dogs, I actually on the bicycle, if I'm not terrified, I kind of cheer them on. I'm like, come on.
You can do it.
And
come on, Sparky.
Especially if it's like a little dog with little short legs, I cheer them. I'm like, you can do it, man. And I'm like, people are like, what were you doing? I said, man, that's the most excitement that dog had all week. To get to chase a big thing on wheels, I mean, man,
Absolutely.
that dog out here in the countryside must have thought this was the best day ever. So, let's see. So I was going to tell you the story. So a dog will run out in front of you a lot of times, and on your bicycle, and it causes people to wreck. This happens a lot. You got to be really careful about that. And I'm sure there's a much better strategy I can come up with than just trying to think of something. But so this guy wrecked. And he was standing there, and then his tire exploded on his bike from something about the crash weakened his tube, and it blew out the entire tire, right?
Oh man!
And when it went off, it sounded like a gunshot. Well, then now Farmer Bob comes out from his ranch house.
Thinks you're shooting at his dog.
Now he's concerned because, like, he wasn't concerned enough to keep his dogs from chasing people, but now that you might have hurt his dog, then he starts. Now he's actually going to do something about the situation, right. And so he comes out with a gun. He had a rifle or a shotgun. I don't remember. This a long time ago, and he said, "Are you guys shooting at my dogs?" And one of the guys with us is a retired Marine. We got actually a lot of ex-military guys that ride with us. And no, sir, right. No, calm down. No, it was just a tire. We had to show the guy the tire, you know.
Trying to deconflict it.
Yeah, and it ended up being just fine. But it just shows you how things can escalate, like, really quick.
Absolutely, and that's why in your survival pack, your exercise survival pack, you want to have your cell phone, you know, where you can take pictures, you know, take a picture of the individual, call the police, saying, hey, look, I've been in an incident, the guy's got a gun, you know, keep him on the phone, keep him talking, this is my location, and that way, you know, you're a harder target for that person who's really wanting to teach you a lesson, and he'll probably think twice, if he's somewhat intelligent, he'll think twice of really engaging you or hurting you.
Yeah, so, let's move on to cars, where people yell at you from a car. They're just messing with you. Now, normally what I do is nothing. And then sometimes if somebody's aggressive and honks, but they keep on going, I actually smile and wave back at them because what they want is a reaction out of you, like a middle finger.
Absolutely.
And
they want a reason to come after you.
Yeah, well, and then if they're like, man, every cyclist that I try to be an asshole to just smiles and waves, well, I'm going to quit being an asshole because it doesn't even work. It just makes them happier. I do the exact opposite of what they expect. And then on one, I've done this actually several times, and this is probably not that smart. This is me being cocky. Is a guy honks and swerves around me and yells, you know, get out of the road or whatever, and I wave at him with a big smile on my face. I wave at him, come back. And then this has happened twice. They've stopped and gotten out of the car, and we're going to get to that in a second. What do you do when somebody actually gets out of the car? And by the time they've stopped, because I'm in control of the situation now, because I've asked them to stop. I've stopped, and I've pulled out my phone, and I've dialed 911, and also I've got my camera on them, and I'm taking photos as they come out of the car, and they start talking trash as they come out of the car. What's your problem, man? You know, like, you want some of this or whatever? And I go, no, just hold still for a second. I'm taking your photo, so I've got it, and I'm calling the cops that you're trying to run cyclists off the road. And the two times that I've done that, they've got back in their car and peeled out and taken off because they and that's, I don't think that's actually smart because I'm creating a situation when I shouldn't. And I'm trying to teach them a lesson.
You're escalating it a little bit, but you know, you did do some things right, such as, you know, not being a victim. Yeah. And when confronted with that situation, you know, really meeting it head on with a alpha dog type mentality without being too confrontational.
Yeah, I think in a way though, now that I think about it, I'm trying to teach them a lesson, and that's not I shouldn't be out there. You shouldn't be out there doing vigilante justice on people out there.
Because if they're going to do it, they really don't care if it's wrong. Because if they've done it, they've obviously made the conscious decision to do it. And you telling them it's wrong isn't going to convince them otherwise.
They're not going to let the dude in spandex about whether what's wrong or right. Okay, so
and everybody needs to keep in mind that when it comes to a game of chicken between you and a car, the car always wins. Unfortunately, no matter how much of a type A personality you have or how much ability you got, you're on a bike.
Yeah.
You know, understand what the situation is and treat it for what it is. Is it worth losing your life over or being severely injured? If it's not, which most of the times it is not, you know, avoidance. Just get out of the area.
Every video where I've seen this happen on the internet. Okay, on a bicycle, we talked about you can carry an asp. The driver goes back to the car and gets
gets something bigger,
a tire iron, or a baseball bat or a gun. And so it's not very smart. But we did identify the smart thing is if they do pull over, don't do what I do and invite them to pull over.
Hey, can you please kick my butt? Yeah. It's been a long time.
Let's have a fist fight. But if they do pull over, pull out your camera, your smartphone right then, take photos, and then if they ask you what you're doing, say and warn them as they're getting out of the car. That's actually the smartest thing I would bet is as they're getting out of the car and coming at you. You yell out, I'm dialing 911 right now. What about that? That sounds kind of smart.
I mean, again, use your environment to your advantage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stay in one place. You are on a bike. You do
Get
have
off
the
the bike.
ability to no. Stay on the bike and go away. You're on a bike. They're dismounted. They're on foot. You're much faster than they are. Or the situation altogether.
Yeah.
Now, is that going to prevent them from jumping in their car and tracking you down? No, it's not. But what will is what you did, which is, hey, I'm dialing 911. Whether or not you truly take a picture, I would try to take a couple of pictures of the situation and then, put your phone up to your ear like you're really talking to the police.
Yeah.
As you're pedaling away in a different direction where it would be more difficult for them to get to you.
Yeah, don't be messing with Instagram and putting filters on your pictures and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a Facebook moment. This is a time to go ahead and leave the area and be thankful that you can make it back home.
Yeah. Okay, and then let's see. Let's say you actually get hit by a car and you're alive. What do you do if the guy stays versus if the guy leaves? So let's say, the guy gets out of his car and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. What do we do?" And your leg's broken, you're maybe bleeding and stuff like that.
Right.
What do you do? Tell him to call 911?
Oh, absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. You're now a victim, and now time is of the essence. If you're not real sure what the injuries are, or you could have a traumatic injury. Your leg is in a funky 90-degree angle, or your arm, or you can't move your neck. If you're in a significant crash and you find yourself on the ground, don't attempt to self-recover right then and there. Don't attempt to stand up, because if you do have some type of spinal injury, you're just going to exacerbate it, and you could possibly make your injury more severe than what it was.
Yeah.
So be still, ask for assistance, and that's where your survival pack also comes into play. If you are able to move your hands or arms and to keep from moving your spine, grab a hold of your survival pack. Grab out your cell phone, dial 911, dial your house. Hey, I've been in an accident, can you come get me? Can you call the paramedics for me or something?
Yeah.
Dial 911, get them to your location right away. In the situation where if there's a guy leaving the scene, another part of your survival kit is a pen and paper. Sometimes you can't get on your phone quick enough and get that picture because it's all blurry. You can't make out the tags.
Yeah.
If you got a good phone with a good camera in it, absolutely see if you can snap a photo as you're agonizing in pain and trying to recover your severed limb. Do the best you can. To try to capture the moment. Get a license plate number, something like that. Get a full description of the person, of the car, of the direction of travel, because once EMS comes, police are going to be right behind them. They're going to be asking you questions. Be able to answer as many questions as you can so that they can stop the guy. They can find him later. They may not find him that day, but it's a good chance they'll find him within that week, and then justice will be served.
You want to be able, if you can get that license plate or part of that license plate number, start repeating it out loud, and then try to write it down as fast as you can, because you're not going to remember it in 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you got to scrawl it in the dirt next to you or whatever.
Grab a stick, write it in the dirt. I've even seen, because this comes from Boy Scout first aid stuff, where you have to put a tourniquet on somebody. Well, there's a limited time that you can do that. You write on their forehead with a permanent marker or any kind of whatever, the time that you put that on, so when paramedics show up, they know what time it was when that was put on. And I'm thinking you could even, if you got blood laying around, you could write on your own arm or on the pavement with your blood part of that license plate number. I know that sounds sick,
absolutely,
but that's what you need to do.
That's true. You do what you can, man. You do what you can to document the scene, because you may be close to blacking out to where you're not able to communicate with anybody.
Yeah.
But if they see something written next to you, the paramedics are going to take note of it. They're going to write it in their notes, and if the cops show up, the cops can take note of it and be like, "What was this about? Was some numbers, some letters? What was that about?" And then you can later describe it to them.
I'm laughing at myself, but like how horrible this is. Like the paramedics show up and there's a guy that's passed out, but he's dragged his body with blood on the pavement.
He's used his whole body as a big ink stick, just
both
drawing
legs
big letters and numbers.
Both legs are broken and compound fractures, but he's dragged himself into the letters like TZ3974. Yeah.
He's like, I'm running out of ink, and he's squeezing his thigh, trying to get some more to come out of the opening,
Yeah. They're like, no, you need your blood, you moron. But no, the stick in the dirt or your finger in the dirt is actually pretty smart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I think we've covered enough for today. How do you feel?
Feel good, brother. How do you feel?
I feel good, man. This was fun.
Had a good time, man.
All right. Okay, well, we're going to pretend like we're hanging up, and I'm going to stay on the phone with Waylan, and y'all will have to wait till another episode to catch up with my good buddy, man. So, what city do you live in? You don't have to give away your city.
Well, I live in the Triangle in North Carolina.
Okay, yeah, I've been there. Okay, somewhere in the Triangle, Waylan lurks.
Yeah, in an undisclosed location.
In his compound.
That's
Awesome,
right.
man. Okay, stay on. All right?
Yeah, man, not a problem, brother. It was a pleasure talking with everybody, and I look forward to getting any kind of feedback or comments or questions that I can ask if anybody's got any.
All right, super cool. Thank you, Waylan, and we might have him on the show again sometime. He's emailed me and said, hey, when is that going to air, man? He's excited to hear himself, and he really is an all-American badass. This guy is awesome, and I'm super stoked to be in touch with him again, and he's really an all-around great guy. All right, that interview was brought to us by Amrita Health Foods. So you hear tons and tons and tons of people talking about Amrita bars. Amrita, not like John Hirsch says, Amarita. It's Amrita, Amrita, healthfoods.com, Amrita, amritahealthfoods.com. If you go there and you use the discount code ZEN, all caps, you can get 15% off a ton of their stuff. Maybe all of it. I'm not sure. I haven't tried to buy everything on their site, but they have not only the date bars that are nut allergen free and just incredible. So many people love them. They're fantastic. There's fat mixed in there with like chia seeds and all kinds of good stuff. That they also have workout and racing kits, which look really good. The Amrita logo is beautiful. And you wear this, and people who know what Amrita is will immediately single you out and come over and start talking to you and go, you're awesome too? Wow, I love being awesome. Let's all be awesome together. So when you see somebody in Amrita, they look good, and you can feel good on the inside by getting some of these Amrita bars yourself. I eat 1 or 2 a day maybe, and it's just such clean, good energy. Okay. AmritaHealthFoods.com, 15% off. Let's answer some questions. We have donations and Hornet Juice stuff. So, Ken Prasuti emailed me, I think this is an email. I don't know. I collect all the stuff and throw it into a big show log and I read it. So he says, I'm a bit behind on my listening, or I would have posted sooner. I wanted to chime in on the cadence question that a listener sent in from the perspective of a Chi running coach. So Ken here is a Chi running coach. This is nice. This is the beauty of the interwebs right here. If you take a look at the greatest runners in the world, they'll tend to have the same cadence at the beginning of their race as they do at the end, regardless of speed. The reason is, with good form, runners move faster by leaning their bodies further out. Maybe he means further forward. Is that what out means? This increases their stride length so they can cover a greater distance at the same cadence. All right, so if you keep the same beat, or like Matthew McConaughey at the beginning of The Wolf of Wall Street, he starts hitting his chest like that. And remember how weird that was in the movie when he was doing that? And whatever he was singing, man, it was weird. Okay, anyway, so, well then how do you go faster at the same beat? Right? Well, the way you go faster is you increase your stride length, so it's more distance per beat. How do you increase your distance? You lean more forward and lift your leg up more, and then that's more distance. I've improved my pace. Oh, wait. This increases their stride length so they can cover a greater distance at the same cadence with less effort than if you tried to speed up the cadence. I've improved my pace by focusing on form and running with a metronome to keep my cadence steady. Okay, so a point here, this is Brett now speaking, is you can listen to soundtracks. I think there's probably apps and stuff like that that'll be at a good beat. And I know I've gotten a lot faster biking by upping my cadence and getting used to a faster cadence. I'm going to keep snapping here while we read this. Anyway, do you ever have typing class and you had to type to a cadence and they would do a slow cadence, and you would type really slow, right? Hitting a keystroke every beat, and every week they would speed it up just a little bit more. It's a great way to teach people typing. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on, but I would definitely encourage anyone who runs to check out some of the Chi running materials out there. Thanks and love the show. Again, that's Ken Prusetti, and he's a Chi running coach. Maybe you ought to check him out. Okay, we've got donations from Dwayne Morin, Jonathan Fisher, Vince Hancock, he's new, Miko Nyman, or Neiman, but probably Nyman. And then we've got an email from Julie from Down Under. Let me open this up. I'm also trying to figure out how to get all this stuff that I'm reading to you on the show as show notes. It'd be pretty cool. After listening to every podcast of yours, since number 500, I made up that number, I decided it was definitely time to set up a recurring donation to you. You have helped me out a lot with info, and thanks to you, I now regularly order Amrita bars. Hey, you're smart. Hornet juice, and bought a Sunto Ambit 2S approximately a month ago. Good job. You're going to love that Sunto. Or you already do love it, I bet. I started triathlons, Olympic and half Ironman, back in December of 2010, but have not improved my time at all. Okay. Due to constantly injuring myself. Oh, yeah. Okay. I am obviously doing something wrong. Yep. That's okay. We all do stuff wrong all the time. It gets very frustrating, but I will keep trying to improve as I love triathlons and have been a tri-groupie, quote unquote, since I went to school with a bunch of pro triathletes. That was back in the late 80s. I can't believe that I still live and breathe it. I can tell you why you still live and breathe it, because triathlon is good injury prevention versus a single sport. Because your leg starts to hurt running, well, then you just bike and swim for a while and let your leg heal. And then you go back to running, you're probably faster than you were because you took some time off running. Reading every possible magazine about triathlons that I can get my hands on. If I could live my own life over, I would love to be a professional triathlete. You and me both, if it paid enough. However, I guess I'd have to be like the world's best professional triathlete. Then it would pay enough, and then I'd be happy. However, back to reality. I have my next Olympic, I guess. She says OL. Maybe in Australia, OL means Olympic. Triathlon, it's OLY up here. In Noosa in early November. This is my A race for the year, so I hope everything goes according to plan. Don't hope. Make a plan and stick to it. Got that, Julie? All right. Hope is not an option. As Sunto says, replace luck with numbers in their case. I'll send you a question from time to time and continue to enjoy listening to your podcast. Cheers, Julie Moody. Thanks, Julie. That was a really nice email. Oh, I got an email from somebody earlier this week, and I sent it to my parents, and Emily sent it to her parents. Like, look how Brett is making a difference in the world, because somebody said that I really, really made a big impact in their life. That was a really great email, by the way. You know who you are. Dwayne Morin. Oh, we already did that. Jonathan Fisher, Vince Hancock. Oh, we already did these. Okay. John Burns. So John Burns ordered Hornet juice. And when and we'll get to the Hornet juice in a minute, but when I get a Hornet juice order, I send you a personal email. I hand type it every single time. I tried doing some copying and pasting for a while, and I didn't trust it. So I actually even though a lot of times it's the exact same email, I hand write it every time, and I put your name in there. And then I also say, how is it going, where you are, and I list out where you are. And so I sent Hornet juice to Tokyo earlier this week, and I almost said, how's it going in Queensland, Australia, when I was wrong. It was Melbourne, Australia, and sent some to Puerto Rico. today. So you always get a handwritten email, hand-typed email from me when you order your Hornet juice. So order some Hornet juice, and the postage is really cool too. We'll get to what Hornet juice is in a minute. Let's see. Things are good up here. Had a break from the heat this morning and rode for 3 hours at mostly MAF level, averaging 16 plus miles per hour. That's pretty good. Only 41 hours of recovery time for that ride compared to 120 for my Hotter Than Hell ride last weekend. That's a ride, I think Hotter Than Hell's around Waco. And it's 100 miles. I guess maybe you can do different distances, but it is a son of a bitch. And it's, it's, August here. And riding 100 miles in August in north central Texas or wherever, Wichita Falls or Waco. Yeah, it's Wichita Falls, I think. I'm sorry. I didn't mean Waco. Sorry, I got hiccups. That's one ride I don't want to do. Could I do it? Probably. Do I want to do it? I don't know. How bad do I want to get an IV afterwards? It's like 3 IVs. Start an IV about halfway through and ride the last 50 miles doing it. He used 3 packets of Hornet juice today. Oh, on his 3-hour ride. Man, I got the hiccups. Hold on. Okay, I got things to do, so I'm just going to power through these hiccups. I got a glass of water now. Come here, water. All right. I interviewed Sid Garza-Hillman yesterday. It was awesome. That'll be next episode. Okay. Ooh, that water's good. I can have some more. I posted on Twitter to not worry so much about filtered water. My Greyhound is 82 in dog years, and she drinks straight out of the toilet. She prefers the toilet. It's so gross. We try to yell at her and scream at her and put the lid down. Whoever left the lid up gets yelled at too. And she's in there slurping away at the toilet. Okay. Sorry. That was a squirrel moment. Did you say that the Iron Baby, this is John again, did you say that the Iron Baby would be on Sunday, November 9th this year? Yes, I did. I was planning on waiting until next year to do it because I figured it would conflict with 70.3 Austin. No, it is not. It is 2 weeks after 70.3 Austin. Okay, so what this is, Iron Baby, what he's asking about is every year I put on a self-supported Ironman. I do it in honor of the year that I did my very first Ironman. I did it all by myself out of my house. It was brutal. I was not at all good enough to be doing an Ironman, but I'd started training for one, and then Kai, my 9-year-old, was born premature, so this is like 10 years ago, and he was in the hospital for 2.5 months before we could bring him home. He was super preemie, and they just told me to go home and earn a paycheck and keep my job, so we had insurance because this was going to be really expensive. It's $10,000 a day, level 3 or level 4 NICU, neonatal intensive care unit at Children's Hospital in Houston. All right, I'm back. Somebody called and it messed up the phone. $10,000 a day, and so because he was born so early, I was planning on doing an Ironman in a few weeks or like a month. Yeah, about another month. And but now I was told just to sit on my ass, and I was so frustrated. And as dads can get, the moms are doing all this work, and they're working so hard. And the dad in this situation, me, is told pretty much just to do nothing, and it's really frustrating. So I decided to do my first ever Ironman. By myself, because I couldn't go do the one that I'd signed up for because it was too far away and I needed to stay close to the hospital. And but I just decided on a Saturday to go do the Ironman myself to show that if the hospital or the doctors or the nurses would actually give me something to do, and if I could try, this is how hard I would try. I would try to nearly kill myself for my own son. If given the opportunity. And I did it out of pure love and frustration and show of heart and how and respect. One thing that keeps coming to mind, it's hard to explain. Kai, even though he was just born, was trying his hardest. You could tell, he was just breathing and metabolizing and just existing was a miracle. That how hard he was trying, how life, was trying to make it. And all these nurses, man, the best nurses in the world doing everything they can. Everybody's exhausted, trying to, and he is too, trying to keep him growing and not getting sick and all this stuff. And out of respect for how hard everybody was trying, especially Kai, I was going to show that if somebody would ask me to do something, this is how hard I would try. And so I went out and did my first ever Ironman. It took me 17 hours and something, probably. I don't have the exact time on me, but I could probably go look it up someday. But what I did is I swam at a local pool, and then I drove to my house, and then I rode my bike around for 112 miles. I GPSed it, and I just rode all over the place for 112 miles. And then I walked, I tried to run, almost died out there, a marathon by GPS, and I just kind of ran wherever. And I used my house as the aid station, and I did it again. It was so cool and so awesome that I did it again the next year, and then the next year. And I've had stuff where, like, on the course there's been construction, and like I had to shoulder my bike and cross a muddy creek channel several times. It's been one time I did it, and it was a high. The average temperature all day was probably 40 degrees. 38. And I got hypothermia the moment I stopped. So anyway, this has been going on. This will be the 10th annual, because it's a celebration of it's just a repeat of what we did. And we raise money for March of Dimes. And anybody can participate. Just gotta. There's no entry fee, but try to raise some money for March of Dimes, and that's cool. Whatever you can, and then we raise money the entire way. March of Dimes is a kids preemie, a lot of preemie stuff, which Kai was, so it works out fund. And the thing is the Iron Baby is up to an Ironman distance. So I guess you could go longer if you want, and it's but the swim, you can do as much of the swim as you want. You can do as much of the bike as you want, and you can do as much of the run as you want. So we have lots of people do a half Ironman. It's really loosely organized and totally self-supported. And we use my house as the aid station, and stuff is on loops. So you swing by the house every once in a while and pick up more fuel. And this will be the 10th year, so it's pretty well organized. We have a beer sponsor and a bike store sponsor, and all kinds of fun. It ends up being a lot of fun. And next year, we're talking about doing the Ultra Baby. So possibly doing an Ultraman distance, which is over a double Ironman, I think. But spread out over 3 days. So it's the 3 stages. And we're calling it Ultra Baby next year, just for fun. And you can do as much of that as you want. Gary last year he would have posted the fastest Iron Baby time ever, except that he was training for Ironman Florida, so he cut the run short either halfway through or after 10 miles when he was happy that his training was nailed down. And then he went a while later and did a low 10 at Ironman Florida, right? I think Brian Brode, Tri-Boomer, has done the full Iron Baby. Morgan came year before last or last year and did the full Iron Baby. So there's been a few of us that have finished the entire Iron Baby, but tons of people have done Olympic distance, the swim and the bike and not the run, half Ironman distance, so it's all kinds of stuff. So very, very happy to have people come. Send me an email at texifornia@gmail.com if you want to come down so that we can start a group email on accommodations and what it takes to actually do it. A self-supported Ironman or self-supported triathlon of any distance is pretty freaking badass. To say that you did it without any, you got your friends and your family, but you don't have a lot of pressure and a lot of crowds cheering you on. It's really you getting it done. When I did my first one, my first several, no crowd, nobody, just me by myself doing a full Ironman. And believe me, every time you swing by the house, that couch looks really, really good. So to keep going is such determination and such willpower that it's you that's doing it. It's really amazing. And the run course is a ton of fun now. We've done this same run course now for a few years. It's a looping course, and you get to swing by the house every time and see your friends and family. And it's actually loops are kind of fun because it gets to be really reliable. You know what's coming up next. I actually like it. It was pretty cool. At first I thought it was insane, but then now I actually like it. 9 loops. Okay, so this year it's on November 9th, a Sunday instead of a Saturday, and it looks like we're going to try to do an open water swim and then at the lake and then bike from the lake to my house, and that'll be about a quarter of the Ironman run bike ride, and then from my house do 3 more loops, kind of like around until we hit 112 miles. And then now we got a course, and you can preview the course and all that stuff. So, unlike the first few times I did it, where I just did it by GPS, made my own course as I was out there doing stuff. So, November 9th, 2 weeks after 70.3, my training strategy personally is I'm training my ass off for the 70.3, and then I'm going to rest for 2 weeks and then do this full Ironman as a, from the residual from doing that half Ironman and trying to kick ass. Now, so let's go back to John. Now I'm toying with the idea of coming down this year. Yeah, dude, come down. Just not sure if I'm ready for a full Ironman yet. Doesn't matter, dude. You can do as much of it or as little of it as you want, and you still get all the free beer that you want. Microbrew ale, New Republic ale. I'd have to majorly get off my butt and get my butt in gear and increase my training volume. Yeah, dude, that's why you sign up for races. Emily's all of a sudden started training a lot more on her bike because she signed up for a charity ride. Signed me up too. And I guess who's on the bike a whole lot more, So it works. It's cool. More donations. Tyler Moyer, Ken Soderquist, longtime donor. What's up, dude? Paul Johnson, Spiros I always want to say Festus, and Julie Callahan. So we're about to go into the training log, and you're about to get a whole lot more training information and tips. But if you feel like that this podcast has helped you in your training and in your triathlon endeavors and in your racing and in your life, because a lot of stuff I talk about isn't about triathlon at all. It's about time management and life management and goal setting. Then consider supporting the show. And it's super easy to do. You go to the left side of ZenTriathlon.com, and there's 2 donation options. You can do a one-time donation or set up a recurring donation. Recurring is less than $4 a month, so it's like $1 a podcast. And the one-time donation is awesome as well. And right in the one-time one, you can post a message. That's the way PayPal works. It has a little box, like if you want a message. Send me a coaching question or something you want me to shout out, and I'll do it. And either way, you get my email address, and you can send me questions, and I'll answer your questions on the show. I do that for donors, man. It's cool. And then also another awesome way to support the show, which has ended up being great, is to get Hornet Juice. So I sell this crazy stuff, but it actually works. And I only endorse stuff that I know actually works. And it's called Hornet Juice. And it is made in a lab. And it's amino acid that is the exact same amino acid as the Japanese killer hornet. No joke. Google it. Hornet Juice. And check this stuff out. It's insane. But the amino acid blend has been proven over and over again to turn on your metabolism of body fat. So you take a little bit of it before you start working out, it's a long workout, and then another packet, like they recommend about once every hour and a half. Mix it in with your fuel. And then you will be blown away by the amount of energy that you've got using this stuff. It's really nuts. It's just like you've turned into a giant diesel engine. It's incredible because now you're using your body fat in conjunction with your fuel. And it's really, really impressive. And it's super cool because you get an email from me saying, hey, what's going on? And wherever you live, Paris, Norway, Colorado, Miami, Puerto Rico, and then the postage is actually a blast too. It comes from New Zealand, and the postage, the last one I had has whales all over it because New Zealand's in whaling country, and lots of stamps. It's pretty neat, and you show your kids and your friends, look, stuff came from New Zealand, but it's Japanese killer hornet spit. It's saliva, it's spit. I take this, and then my eyeballs bug out of my freaking head. And I just can't stop working out. It's good stuff. All right, and that's on the right side of the website, ZenTriathlon.com, and that really helps support the show. People love this stuff. I get emails all the time. People are like, "Holy crap, this really works!" And I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, it does. It is really, really cool. Be careful with it, man. It's a ton of energy." And it's only 60 calories because the amino acids, it's amino acids and not a ton of carbs. Julie is affiliated with the one of the donors that we just mentioned is affiliated with thepedalshop.com, and go check her out at thepedalshop.com, but shop is SHOPPE, 2 P's and an E. It's all fancy. And then let's see. We're about to get into the training log. I have 2 more sponsor things to mention. One is Compete Hub, and we need to talk to Compete Hub about joining up with TrainerView. Holy crap. Compete Hub is super, super smart. You sign up with them, and you get to check out race courses and hill profiles, and it's kind of like the Facebook of triathlon. It's so much better than active.com. You get to preview courses. You get to do a whole bunch of stuff. They tell you the average temperature of water, the average temperature of the day. It is really, really neat stuff. And they are a proud sponsor of ZenTri. So go check it out. Start looking for races on Compete Hub. And it would be really cool if they talked with realtimeathlete.com and got a course. Each course had the real-time athlete course built in on Compete Hub, so you could go test ride it. They ought to talk. Compete Hub, go talk to them. And another thing I want to mention is, hey, if you want to get mentioned on the show, you want to promote your event or your company, or you want to propose somebody to get married while you're on a tandem bicycle together, riding across the desert at Burning Man or something like that, then let me know. And advertising on ZenTri is only $100 every month. That's it. So you could get a month's worth and get your race promoted, get all kinds of stuff promoted, get your team promoted. What's something else you could promote? Get your charity promoted. Get your dog a Facebook page and get it likes. $100. It's worth it one time to see what happens, man. We have like 2,500 downloads a day. So that's your target audience right there. You can't beat it. All right, let me see if we have any other sponsors before we get into the training log. And let's see, I'm looking at Julie stuff right here. But oh yeah, check out the Suunto Ambit 3. It's now hit the market. I think it's nuts. It's awesome. And yeah, I think that's it. Is that it? That's it. All right, let's get started with the training log. Tons of stuff in here. I take you with me on full Ironman, really half Ironman focus right now, training with me everywhere that I go, and lots of cool stuff in there, tips and tricks and nutrition and productivity and time management. It just goes on and on and on, and it's with me all the time, And right before I started recording this show, I was recording something for the training log on the next episode. So you see how this all goes. Anyway, lots of fueling discussion, I think, in this one. Adventures with Kai. So let's go ahead and get started with the training log. Here we go.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name's Brett, I'm a triathlete.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
All right, welcome to a new training log. It is August 26th. Star date, August 26th. 2014. And wow, intervals on the bike this morning, really good stuff. I'm going to get to that in a second. For a moment, I want to talk about user experience and how that makes all the difference in the world. Product design. So, as triathletes, we need to be flossing our teeth because we get crap stuck between our teeth, and with all the carbs and stuff that we tend to eat, it wrecks our teeth. And I have found something that is really, really cool. So, up until, not just a few days ago, or a few weeks ago, I used to hate flossing my teeth, would never do it. I never get around to it. But I found that, I found a dental floss that is so freaking cool that it makes you want to do it. And that is a huge success in product design, and also a huge thing to know in lifestyle hacking and lifestyle design is so many of the things that habits and things that you want to get done in life, you're not doing them because the interface sucks and it's just not fun. And if you make something more fun or more interesting or more tactile, it keeps drawing you back in, then you actually really start the habit. It's a huge win in getting things done, getting the right things done. So I'm just going to, Oral-B, I'm just going to say one brand of, there's probably plenty of other dental flosses that are like this, but there's this one Oral-B dental floss that is, it's in a blue container. For whatever reason, it looks like it's got a pistol grip on it, kind of like inundated, like for your fingers to help hold it open. It's a light, semi-translucent blue. But anyway, the ribbon, the floss, the actual material itself is so slick and just wonderful. When you slide it between your teeth, you're like, wow. And when you go back and use regular dental floss, it feels like you're flossing your teeth with a bag of leaves. It's so nasty. And this makes you want to come back and use it. It's so cool. So again, it's blue Oral-B. I forgot the exact product name, but it's sitting in my desk drawer at work, and I can't wait to get to work to floss again. And that's really cool. So if you're finding you're having difficulty doing something, a lot of times, look, the solution is in the design of the tools that you're trying to use. It makes it fun. And then the other one was this trash can that we bought last episode. This $80 trash can on sale for $60 from the Container Store that's just got smooth operation. It's so well built and well designed that it makes you want to use it. Well, Kai and I have been throwing away our trash, which is amazing for boys to do because we leave trash all over the place, because it's fun to actually use the trash can. And it's fun to throw things in it, It's so cool. So that's another product design win right there. And then you start thinking about that and you're like, wow, there's so many things in the sport. Like, say you're trying to get triathlon training done and racing done. Look for things that are irritating. It's the whole Zen being self-aware. You're like, I don't want to get up and run because I don't like my running shoes. Well, get freaking new running shoes, man. And I don't keep track of my training log because it's too difficult to upload my stuff and keep track of it. Well, if that's the case, nowadays you're doing it wrong, because there's plenty of devices that upload stuff automatically. I know my Sunto Ambit 2 uploads, you just hook up the watch to charge it, boom, it uploads all the workouts. And then opens up the internet browser on that page so you can look at it and see your workouts. And then you're like, wow, that's really cool. And then I copy the URL at the top and then tweet it. And it's that simple, and now you're removing obstacles. So now it's no longer a pain in the ass to get things done, but actually it's fun to get things done, So look for that kind of stuff. My goggles always leak. Well, freaking buy new goggles, It's not that big of a deal. Just order them on Amazon and have them delivered to your house. Kaiman, Aquasphere Kaimans are like really popular. They work really well. Try those. There's all kinds of things where you're not doing the stuff that you need. If you're not doing the stuff that you want to be doing, there's usually some kind of interface issue, product issue, or you're using old crap your tire always goes flat, right? You don't know how to change the tire. Well, learn how to fix that, or get a different tire or different system, and then that problem's taken care of. Okay, so the other thing was really good bike intervals this morning. Sit on the trainer, kind of pedaling along, watching YouTube videos, listening to Godsmack and Megadeth and Pantera on the headphones, on Pandora. And once you find one good triathlon video, guess what shows up as related suggested videos? Is more triathlon videos. And look for ones that are a little bit longer, and then that way you're not always having to go to the next one. And warm up, watching that stuff. Then after about 20 minutes, you can see that your power and heart rate numbers are nice and happy, where you like to be. And then start knocking out intervals. Pretend like you're climbing hills. Go hard and then rest. And then go hard and then rest. And then you do about 3 or 4 of those. Guess what? You're almost at an hour. It's really cool. And you got your hour workout in. Legs are all jacked, pumped, feel good. And then clean yourself up. Don't leave a mess around. Whew. And that's it. Oh, yeah, and then I take my watch, hook it up to the computer, uploads, and then automatically goes to Strava. And then emails start coming in. Hey, this guy's thumbs up your ride on Strava. Like everybody's happy. It's a good morning. Everything starts rolling along. Just like that. Bam, 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 bam. Consistency. And that's how you get it done. All right. That's it. Out. Bang. All right, I'm back. We're at the pool. Oh, man, the high school band quit playing. You were about to hear them in all their glory. Nice little swim. Doing fart lick swims, which is not licking your farts in the pool. It is self-designed up and down. We're going to hang here for a second. Oh, there's the band director yelling through his megaphone. It's the city of Bryan High School band, and like whatever the flag squad stuff is. And I swam for about 50 something minutes. Put my wet stuff in the box over the Xterra. And yeah, you get in, start swimming. Hey, bird. You get in and start swimming, and then after you've warmed up a bit, push the pace until it starts to burn, and then back off, and then just keep repeating. Fartlek means speed play in Swedish. Oh man, I got a note on Twitter. Oh, I forgot his name. The guy I interviewed about a year ago that swam the English Channel all butterfly. He and I were talking about Fartlek because he's in Sweden. I think he's French, but he lives in Sweden. And so we were talking about the name. Here we go. Here goes the band. Did somebody just fall down? Oh, no, that's a move. Modern dance. Here come the drums. And the Aggies played South Carolina last night. We crushed them. Oh, that sounds out of tune. It's kind of pretty. Anyway, and I've been doing 2 different kind of fartlicks. One is really gets a lot of results, but man, it might be just for single sport where you do 3 hard intervals until failure, maybe 4. And I've noticed that, and with a long warm up first, I've noticed that it does seem to drain you, for everything else. And maybe a smarter kind of fartlick might be just kind of sprinkle it in kind of here and there. For triathlon, for long distance triathlon, all these sports are different. Triathlon's different than cycling, and long distance triathlon is different than short distance triathlon. So it all kind of gets mixed up. And another cool thing is the hyperlapse video on, and by Instagram, it's an app, and you shoot a video, and then it speeds it up. And I've gone through. It creates a hashtag with most of its hyperlink. Automatically creates a hashtag hyperlapse when you post it. You can remove that hashtag if you want. And I've been searching through everybody's hyperlapses, and I've noticed something. There's a good way. I want to give a tip on a good way to take photos and videos and hyperlapses and such. Hyperlapse especially because there's no sound unless you dub music over it or go into some kind of editor and add in stuff. So natively it doesn't have any sound. Definitely use the hyperlapse thing. It is really cool. You got to check it out. It's its own separate app. But make your hyperlapse video tell a story, and then use the speed settings on how fast it plays it back to determine on whether or not to make the story interesting to keep somebody's attention or not, right? Don't make it boring, and don't make it so fast that it sucks. So the coolest hyperlapse videos are something where somebody's doing something with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And sometimes not a middle, just a beginning and an end. And the worst hyperlapse video, I just go through like 8 of them before I find one that's any good. 8 of them are just, you can't even tell what the point is, right? It needs a point. It needs a purpose. And if you're doing the hyperlapse thing, then, so the 2 I've done is walking out of the swim locker room. And in the title of it, I say, getting video of walking from the locker room to get into the pool, right? And so then it's telling a story. Like, it's a video of me walking, of my point of view, of walking out of the locker room, along the deck, and then turning a corner, and then, boom, jumping in, right? So it's a story, and then you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then you can kind of, what you're doing is you're helping give people an idea of what the scenery looks like when you're doing something that you've told them about. And now with the hyperlapse video, you've kind of sped it up so that they get it in a 5-second soundbite, of what it actually looks like while you're doing this thing. And the other one I did was the training room, my training cave, my pain cave, for at my house, So it's walking into the room from the outside, walking into the room. There's a cat in my room, and then it turns around a corner, and then there's my bike, and then there's medals on the wall, and then it's like you're getting on the bike, and then you see what's on the laptop in front of the bike. So it's like, this is what it's like getting ready to get on the trainer. And that's exactly what I was doing. And now you're telling a story with the hyperlapse thing. And that's actually good advice for taking photos and posting them online. You want your photos to tell a story in one shot. It's like a journey where the person viewing it is kind of like, oh, I wonder, they're kind of mystified a little bit. Like, oh, if I was there, I would go down that road. Or because you show a road like disappearing off into the horizon. It's like an action caught. And you can tell something's happening. and you're wondering what's going to happen in the end. So the coolest hyperlapse videos I've seen were cycling in Moscow in the rain from point A to point B. And then so what you do is you automatically go, oh, I would want to go to Moscow. And, oh, cycling in the rain's kind of tough in traffic, right? And then you're like, oh, I've biked in the rain. And so like all these thoughts are going through your head like, wow, that's pretty neat. I could picture myself doing that, right? And then next thing you know, the video's over and you're like, oh, I want to see that again. See, that's a good video. And then driving from point A to point B was kind of cool. And there's this one video of of somebody driving out. The video was taken from his windshield. Oh my, people, really? Okay, you can merge with the freeway higher than 50 miles an hour, faster than 50 miles an hour. And then but there was lightning. It was during a rainstorm at night, and so every once in a while, lightning went off, and that's your random reinforcement, right? It's like, when is the lightning going to go again? And so you're sitting there and waiting, and boom, and it lights up the area around you. And then another one was there's big waves in California right now, so it's a hyperlapse video of somebody standing on the beach shooting the shoreline, and all the people like coming and going and getting in the water and the waves crashing. And it's really, really neat because it's telling a story of like, hey, there's this thing going on. How do humans interact with this thing going on? And then you see all this random stuff, and it's like the ocean is a constant. It's going to make waves and crash waves. But what do the people do, against these waves when they throw themselves against these waves? And it just kind of comes. It shows how the people kind of come and go and interact like ants against just Mother Nature, something that's constant. So that's the other way to do it. You film something that's constant and show people trying to interact against it. It's pretty neat. Man, I am hungry. I need to eat something. Oh man! Oh, and I've started training with Trainerview.com. The Austin 73-point bike course is in there. You just search for it, boom, shows up. And on the trainer last night, I think I biked for almost an hour, and I got through I'm trying to think about how much. I'm trying to remember what mile I was on. Mile 15, maybe? So, yeah, the pavement is really rough in places. In one place, the road's gravel. That's because when they shot the video, when Google shot the street view, it was, the road wasn't paved yet, or they were repaving it, so it was torn up in the gravel. So it makes you think, holy crap, this road's going to be gravel, but it's not. But it is ranch roads and not ranch roads. It's it's county roads, a lot of it. Some of it's nice. It's very much like where I live. So it's going to be really, really cool. And I'm starting to try to memorize where the turns are and at what mile big turns are and where the hills are. I can already tell there's 4 hills. They're gentle. They're just kind of slight grades. So that's pretty cool too. All right, that's it. Out. Bang. All right, I'm here with Kai. We're in the ZenTri mobile studios, and it's raining tacos out of the sky.
Tacos, no need to ask why.
Lettuce, shells, and meat. Something. Anyway, oh my God, my fly's undone. Hold on. So what's up, dude?
What's up?
What's up? All right, Kai and I, we don't need that much air conditioning. Kai and I are on the way to the neighborhood pool, and we're going to swim. I'm going to swim. Did you bring your swimsuit?
Yes.
Are you wearing it?
Yes.
Okay. And when Kai gets bored, because Kai is on kid time, right? And time goes by so slow. He may decide that he wants to go do something else, and I say this from experience. I swim 3 minutes, and then Kai's like, what are we doing now? So we brought your scooter, dude.
Uh-huh.
And this is going to be another one of those bits. Kai's gone comatose. He looks like a zombie. And that way, Kai can go ride his scooter around when he gets bored. And I can keep swimming. So I can work my muscles. Hey, your buddy Paul?
Yeah.
Your buddy Paul's a machine, man. The way he likes to run and stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty good. Tell me about your Legos that you're wanting to get. You have the train and the what was the other one?
Helicopter and a fire plane.
Yeah, tell me about the trees that are on fire.
It's pretty weird.
And this is all Lego stuff?
Yes.
So Kai's on the iPad, just consumed with his birthday's coming up. Consumed with which Lego set he wants the most. And it's so typical of all of us, right? We're like, I can't decide. And then it just starts sucking up your time. And I'm like, Kai, put down the iPad and let's go do something.
Yeah.
You're still thinking about it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm like, let's go do something. It's early Sunday morning. It's Labor Day weekend. I have the day off tomorrow, but Kai has to go to school. Ha 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 ha.
Can you pick me up as a walker?
Yeah, I bet we can do that.
Okay.
But we are going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Okay. It's amazing.
And I'm stoked about that. I have some tips for you. One, Amrita Bars just sent an email out to everybody, if you're on their email list, that they just got certified or test results or something from the University of Nebraska Allergy Testing Center. The highest score you can make on being allergy-proof and that it won't cause allergies. The best you can do is less than 5 parts per million, 5 ppm of allergens, and they beat it. They got less than 5 ppm. So if you have allergy problems, like William Huffman, the pro that's from College Station, Texas, that's now on the ITU World Circuit, he has a nut allergy. And he can eat Amrita Bars and not have to worry about it. And let's see, there's something else. Kai, remember when you and I were at the Container Store the other day?
Uh-huh.
And how cool that was, where we got the trash can? Oh, and Mommy admitted last night, without me asking or anything, she said that she loves it, how the new trash can... Look at all that dirt, Kai. Kai, look at all that dirt on your mountain bike. You could go ride that today, dude.
I've done that.
Look, here's a cyclist with the blinky light. Whoa, I want that. Look at that. Holy cow, that was bright. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, that was way too much of a squirrel moment. Oh, we were at the Container Store. Oh, we got that trash can. And then Mommy got mad at us. And I said, you just start using it and you watch. She said that she does love how it's bigger and you can just keep throwing trash in it before it fills up and you have to take it out to the bigger trash that we keep out in the garage or on the curb. So that was cool. Anyway, the Container Store sells clips that are used to, like, you twist the top of bread, and it's these clips that just clasp shut and snap shut. And the first time I ever saw them, I thought, oh, that's perfect for a gel, because then you could eat as much gel as you want and then clasp it shut.
I saw that today.
Yeah, and then here's a dude jamming. Looks like Papa. You clasp it shut, and then it won't leak gel all over your pocket or all over your hands, and you keep on going. So if you're running, you can throw it back in your running shorts or anywhere, because it'll keep it clasped shut. If it's on your bike, you can put it back in your jersey pocket, and that way you only have to take half of a gel at a time, or a third, or just a sip of a gel to keep going, so you're not just saturating yourself in sugar. And anyway, you can get those at the Container Store. I forgot the exact name of them, but I think if you search their store for clips or something like that, chip clips, there's this certain kind. Look at them running, man. Look at that lady running with her dogs. That one little dog looked funny. Looked like he was really trying to haul ass. But Guy, look at the pool. It's smooth as glass, dude. Let's ruin that.
Okay.
let's jump in that stuff. Somebody left a towel for us. Look at that. How kind. Oh, look at Uncle John's house. There's just garbage all out front. That's what happens when you move stuff. Anyway, what was the other thing? Oh, and I was listening to the Do You Try, and it's DU for do, as in duathlon, podcast with Keith Burtis, and he was recording in his car, and it was perfect. I was just sitting there listening and focusing on something else. He was going off about diabetes and training and all kinds of cool stuff while he was in his car, and the sound quality was good, and I was like, this is exactly the kind of thing where it's got information. I can't stand it anymore. He's going to get out. You can't stand it. Wait, no. You love it because it's information and it's just kind of background talking, so it's keeping your mind busy, and you can do something else at the same time while you're learning. And I just loved it, man. I was like, cool. And it motivated me to do more of this, where I can talk and give details and tips while I'm driving, because it's a really good use of your time, because while you're driving, you really can't do anything, but you can talk and drive at the same time. All right. And it seems like one-way talking isn't a distraction like texting and whatever, because you're just talking and you hold the mic up to your mouth. If you have an automatic transmission, then it makes it really, really easy. So, what's Kai doing? Okay, let's go hit the pool. Out, bang. All right, we're done. That was a half-hour swim with Kai. I did a hyperlapse video of him going around the pool in circles on his scooter. That was pretty cool. And warm up, and then 3 or 4 intervals of hard. And Kai, where'd you go on your scooter, man?
Around the little loop 2 times.
Out on the street? In the park? That's cool. All right, let's get out of here. And let me throw this gel away. So what I did is, let me see if there's anything left in it. Oh, there's some left, Kai. No, there wasn't much. Okay. And I used that bread clip thing and had about a third of the gel as I was starting, and then another third about halfway through, and then finished it off as needed. I mean, the gel is just basically cake icing if you look at the ingredients. So spreading it out over time is probably a little bit better for you than, or it is better for you than huge dose all at once. And I got all these gels sitting in the pantry from races and stuff. And let's see, there was something else. Oh, how to swim. So your legs are tired from, like I did a hard bike ride yesterday, so legs are tired from that. They need to rest. They don't need to be pumping away, kicking. And actually, the better the swimmer you are, the less you kick. So you can practice on being a better swimmer by not kicking very much and getting your feet up. If you don't kick and you're not a good swimmer, you'll notice that your feet sink big time. It's the whole thing where you can tie your ankles together with a bandana, and they make a device, a strap. It's just Velcro. Tie your ankles together and watch your feet sink. Well, just hold your ankles together willfully and swim, and it relaxes, or it helps recover your legs because of the water pressure, and this feels good. And it makes you work your upper body harder, which is a good workout. And what else does it do, Kai?
I don't know.
Makes it rain tacos?
Yeah, it does.
What is it? How does it go? It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. That's from the Lego movie?
No.
I thought it was. Taco Tuesday?
Yeah, no. Taco song.
Anyway.
Taco song.
And then the last thing it does is it trains you to get your feet up and without kicking so much, which is more of a core and water comfortability thing. And so that teaches you to not use your legs so much, and then the energy that would be going to your legs is now going to your arms And then you're saving your legs for the bike and the run. All around, it's just awesome way to swim. So look, they're building a new house, Kai. It'd be cool to jump over that on a BMX bike.
Yeah.
This big bump right here along the side of the road. Just go at it full speed and then ramp off of it.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. You got to go ride your BMX, your mountain bike on all that construction stuff that we passed by. That'd be awesome.
We already did.
Not today. Maybe something's changed. Anyway, all right, that's it. Out Bing. Hey, thanks for going with me. That was fun.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, I wanted to give Kai a special thanks for being my training buddy, because he jumps in the pool and starts trying to climb on top of me. Yeah, they have goats and donkeys, Kai. While I'm trying to swim laps, so he throws a pool chair in, puts that in my way, and then, you were on my back, and I'm swimming laps with you holding onto my neck and my back, right?
Yeah.
And we would wrestle every once in a while I keep trying to swim laps, and that's actually a really good race simulator. But people trying to mess with you while you swim. So thanks, man. You're supposed to say something back.
Okay.
Oh, all right, bye.
Hopefully you said pretty.
All right, I'm back. I'm running with Kona. Hey, boy. It's really hot. And we're running easy. It's Monday evening, Labor Day. He sped up once we realized we were turning around. He's like, all right, I can be down with this. I'll go home. And I had a really interesting day today. Kai's at school, so I went for a bike ride. Lots of people out riding bikes, lots of parents. It's like Parents' Freedom Day, because all the kids are in school, and now what do we do? When Kai got home from school, we told him that all the parents in our neighborhood got together, and we went to the go-kart track and raced go-karts, and he gave me a look. Like, you bastards. And then we said we were just kidding. We didn't do that. Oh, now you're speeding up, huh? You ready to go home? Oh, there's a dog. Anyway, so there's this long out and back that I like to ride on with one stop sign. And it's at an intersection where there's literally nothing out there. It's a car every few minutes. And I've actually just recently started getting the habit of looking for cop cars. And if I see one, I stop and put my foot down. I very, very much do not think I'm above the law, and I don't agree at all with bikes having to stop at stop signs. There's some cities, and I think the state of Utah or something like that, that's passed ordinances where you just need to slow down and yield. That for cyclists, stop signs are yield signs. Because unlike pushing a gas pedal on a car, oh, we got the chihuahuas. This hasn't happened in a while. Stopping and starting on a bike is a ton of work. And if you want to get more people out cycling and encourage a cycling environment, just have them slow down and check both ways. And then keep going. So, Kona's now dragging me down the street. It's a little doggy, yeah. Oh, here it comes. And now it's got some balls. It's coming back. It barked. It's more like it squeaked. That's all right, Con. There's a Dalmatian up here you ought to pay more attention to. Anyway. But I'm very much a friend of the cops. I love police officers because I love calling them when my life gets difficult and some jerk is causing problems, I'll call a cop so fast, make their head spin, and hold on, I need a sip of water. I can't do that while jogging and holding a microphone. And I work with cops. I'm not in the police department, but I work with lots of people in a police department. And I'm friends with lots of cops. So one thing that I know is that I don't know their job and how hard it is. It's really freaking hard. I almost said effing. The real effing. So, and the cops just enforcing. Yeah, so. Anyway, so I go through this intersection, and as I sail through it, I think, oh, you dummy, you should have looked to see if there was a cop. And if there was, then you should have stopped and put your foot down. And, see, I don't agree with the law, but I very much agree that it is the law, and I better do what it says. And the right way to fight the law is fight the law, not the cop, you know? Like, try to get it changed at the legislative level. This is ridiculous, you know? But anyway, so as I go through the intersection, I look at my new handy rear view mirror, and there's blue and red lights, and a Tahoe or Yukon or whatever state trooper, Texas state trooper, the ones that wear the cowboy hats. I kind of want to get my picture taken with them, because it's pure Texas, you know. And I just sit there on the bike, because I know one thing. If you're in a car, you don't get out of the car and approach the cop car. They will scream at you, get on the ground, if they draw their weapons. So I just sat on my bike and looked off into the distance. I was like, dang it. And as he walks up, you know, I got this bright red blinky light on my back and a mirror. And I told him, I knew I broke the law. I'm really sorry. I won't do it again. It's my mistake. Usually I stop and put my foot down. I'd forgotten. And I was really, 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 really nice. And told him how careful I am. You know. And that I ride out there because it's really safe. And I just momentarily kind of lost my bearings and didn't think as I went through the intersection. And then he asked for my driver's license, and I didn't have it on me. But I have my driver's license number memorized, and he wrote it down. Went back to the car, and about 12 minutes later, he came back and wrote me a ticket for failure to yield to a stop sign or whatever. And then what else? Oh, a warning for not having my driver's license. Now maybe he would have let me go if I had my driver's license. And see, the thing is this is a good lesson in self-control here. I want to be angry at him, but as I do more Zen and as I get more practice and as I get older, I don't know the full story of what he's been told to do, you know? And I don't know what he's really thinking. If he's going to be teaching me a lesson or whatever. I posted the ticket on Twitter, and somebody got really mad. He goes, I would have thrown a fit. So I usually don't get great results that way. I was like, yeah, I don't throw fits with cops. I tried to do as much as I could. I tried to point out I was being really safe and that I know and work with cops and I know better because they've told me. And I'm sorry, and I'll never do it again. And that didn't work. So what you're left with is, what's the best thing to do in the situation? Best thing to do in the situation was several things. Now on, at that intersection, know that they're giving out tickets and put my foot down. If I see anything where people are asking other people to join up to change the law, join up that, because it's directly affected me now. And then, what was another thing? Oh, I posted, the first thing I did was I posted on Twitter the exact location where I got the ticket. And that's basically all I said, was got a ticket for running a stop sign, and I posted a picture of the ticket at Highway 159 and the 6 feeder road. It's an access road. They call it a feeder here. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, it's still going. Okay, sorry. I hit a button. Anyway, you having fun, Kona? Is this good? And it was funny, the responses. A lot of people were like, doesn't he have anything else better to do? And that was one thing that I thought for sure. But I don't know. I don't know the story, you know. It's a Zen lesson, is you don't know the story of why that person... He doesn't know my story, you know. So to make limit... Oh, and then somebody said, sorry, I can't support you on this one, Brett. You deserved it, or something like that. And I thought, I wrote back, I didn't ask for anybody's support. I just posted a ticket. I posted it without opinion, just to see what other people's opinions were. You know, it's fun. Just posted a fact. I got a ticket at this intersection, right? And then, Kona, this is so much fun. I need to drink some more water. So, I thought, one of the other reasons I posted it was because other cyclists, because I'm friends with a bunch of cyclists, can see that I got a ticket at this intersection, and now they can change their behavior and know that cops are giving tickets at that intersection. Right? This is no longer an intersection, at least for the short term, that you can just sail through and not worry about it. And I thought that's a really constructive thing to do, because your friend cyclists will get fewer tickets, and the cops will have to give out fewer tickets because more people will stop and slow down, and then everybody's happy. And that's the end of that. And I know it wasn't just a one-time occurrence, because I went out about another 15, 20 minutes, turned around and came back. At that same intersection, going the other way now, that cop had a cyclist pulled over. And that cyclist had gotten off his bike or something. I couldn't really tell if he was still on his bike or not. But had pulled up next to the pulled up next to the cop car. And as I went by, I thought, don't do that, dude. Stay away from the cop vehicle. Unless you want your face in the hood. It's one thing they always teach you. Any kind of driver safety stuff. Cop pulls you over. Put your hands on the steering wheel. And stay in the vehicle. Do not start getting out. Anyway. And I was like, man, this cop has set up shop. He's just writing cyclist tickets at this stop sign out in the middle of nowhere. He's decided that's his mission for the morning. So I had two funny emotions. One, I was kind of sad it wasn't a speeding ticket, because that's the cool kind of ticket to get on your bicycle. That means you're an awesome cyclist. Stop sign ticket's lame. But if you manage to exceed the speed limit on your bike, usually, depending, that's something you put on your wall. That's pretty funny. I'd take that. Anyway, another one was, I'm parked on the side of the highway and there's all these cars going by. But the cop pulled me over. He pulled over a bicycle. In a way, it did kind of look cool. Because people don't know why I got pulled over. So they're driving by going, what the heck did he do? What's that cop doing? And, because it really was out in the middle of nowhere. And then, I'm going to deal with this dog coming up. Hold on. I'm going to run by a couple other people with their dog. And Conan's going to get all berserk. How y'all doing? Come on, leave him alone. Leave him alone. That's your mutant. Okay, come on. Okay, anyway. And another one, and I've just heard this secondhand, so I don't know at all. Sometimes cops will make fun of other cops for pulling over cyclists. Because you're pulling over people on bikes. So I'm hoping that other cops gave that cop a little bit of hassle. Like, why are you messing with those cyclists way out there? But I don't know. I really have no idea. And that's just a hope. So it was really interesting. I'm sitting on my bike for 10, 12, 15 minutes waiting for him to write me the ticket. And I had my phone on me and music and stuff. I turned it all off and just sat there, sitting on the top tube of my bike, and just looked up at the sky and watched the clouds go by. And looked at the woods around me. And got really into the moment, because this is a really rare moment, you know. And just sat there and felt all the feelings go through me. Like, this is what it feels like to get a ticket on your bike. This is embarrassing. This is a waste of money. This is a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of the cops' time. It's a waste of my time. And trying to decide who I should be more mad at, myself or him, you know. And what should I do? How should I act? It was really intense But at the same time, it was really cool because I've learned enough to not believe in my feelings and actually let them flow through me and let them come and go. I think every emotion lasts like 45 seconds or I don't know, something like that. So I was like, Brett, you idiot. I'm like, I feel like an idiot. Am I an idiot? No. You know. I've done it 1,000 times and never got a ticket before. So I wasn't an idiot. And it wasn't unsafe. So I wasn't an idiot. And I thought, oh, that cop's mean. And I thought, I don't know anything about that cop. Is the cop mean? Actually, no. He was actually really nice to me. He's real pleasant. Oh, this law is stupid. I'm like, well, the law needs to be worked on. People put it in place with good intentions. They just don't know that much because this country is not a cycling country. You know? So, in the end, what am I left with? Brett's getting a ticket. So I just sat there and enjoyed my ticket. I actually enjoyed it a little bit, in a weird way. I wouldn't do it again. But what I was enjoying was the intensity of the moment. And I let that be the only thing that was going on. And I resisted thinking into the future or into the past. Just kind of received my ticket. And then when I got back on the bike and started pedaling, I tried to get right back into pedaling the bike and not let the past or the future when I have to go pay that ticket bother me too much and get right back into the action of pedaling the bike. And because of that, I had an incredible workout. Hold on, I can drink some more water. Because I can't run and drink at the same time. Hold the mic. We've been gone 48 minutes. I think that's pretty good for an easy run. So, because I was able to let go of that stupidity and get back on the bike, I ended up having probably my best just over an hour workout I've ever logged in my entire life as far as output numbers go. And that's because I was really paying attention to my pedal stroke. And what I noticed is, because my bike's reading off watts at the same time, you know, that's how much power you're putting out, is on the upstroke, if you pull your leg up enough so that the ball of your foot slightly comes clean off the footbed of your shoe, just a millimeter, right? And then press back down again. Your actual wattage goes up, like your power goes up by a ton. And while it's in the air, it actually, I think it rests a little bit. So all of a sudden I'm putting out like 20, 30 more watts by focusing on trying to create the tiniest gap between the ball of my foot and the footbed on the upstroke at just the right time. And I was also using a secret fuel that I'm going to hold on to for a while because it is wild. I don't want to share it with people yet and have a whole bunch of people trying it and then it not work. How's it going? Somebody on Twitter said, I thought you lived in the land of the free where you get tickets for stupid things. Like, what do you want me to do? Shoot the cop? That would not end well. Can you imagine how on edge the cops are with Ferguson going on? And we're one state over. I think that's is that up in Oklahoma? Or it's in the Midwest somewhere. So, anyway, I've talked about this on a podcast before with technique. If you're going to throw a ball or throw a spear or throw anything, what do you do? Right? Or if you want a lot of force to do something, what do? You actually reach back the wrong way and stretch out your tendons like a rubber band. And then that stretch starts the momentum. Right? There's a reason why you crank back before you throw a punch. Right? Here he is. Here's the beast. I'm going to run a couple more laps. Are you okay?
Well, I was petting Suji when you opened the door. You leaped off me and scared me.
Okay, hold on. And, you don't want the one of the things about stretching we talked about on the last podcast. If you stretch before a race, you actually stretch out the rubber bands, and they're not as tight anymore, and you'll go slower. They found out. So you shouldn't stretch before a 5K or a sprint swim or a sprint triathlon. And then if it's longer, you just go easier to start off anyway and settle into it. So you use the elasticity of your body as leverage every single movement that you do. And once you get it down, it's actually really pretty. And so on Slow Twitch, there was a thread about, what was it about? About Sun Yang swimming. And I pointed out that if you watch really closely, hold on, I'm having a second. My secret fuel. If you watch Sun Yang swimming really closely, and this has also been documented in lots of swimming technique stuff, he anchors his left arm and kicks with his left leg, so the left side of his body is providing an anchor and thrust. And then with elasticity, he whips his right arm over the top. And then he alternates on the other side. Right? So he's using the stretch of his body and like an overhand baseball throw or football throw, more like a baseball, for his recovery arm coming over the top. You can see it. So then, because he only uses a 2-beat kick instead of a 6-beat kick, he's like, well, what is he doing? Well, if you study the kick is heavy on the alternating side of his arm throw. So wham, and he throws his other arm over. And then, and you watch Janet Evans swim, she does the same thing. She throws her arms over like baseball. And that's why people that swim a lot need shoulder surgery in the end. I'm going to get some water out of the hose. Maybe I'm done running for tonight. I think I've done over 2 hours for today. It's getting late. Hold on a second. Sorry, I put my phone in the pocket while I was getting hose water. It tastes nasty. A little bit over the head to cool off. A little dribble, just like doing a race. Let's run 5 more minutes around the block. And I'll tell you what else I was thinking. So, because this is cool. So you're using the elasticity of your leg up and over the crank. And what that does is if you clear the pedal enough, you get a little bit of elasticity in your leg, well, it wants to rebound back and push the pedal down. Right? And if you angle it just right and sit just the right spot on your seat, you can tell it's using your hamstrings and your glutes instead of your quads. Your quads will wear out faster. So you want to rubber band up and lock out almost your hamstrings and your glutes coming down. And boom, 20, 30 more watts. It's pretty cool. Most of us are overusing our quads. It's really hot out here today. So, lastly, you can do the same thing on the run. When you run, try to run with your glutes and your hamstrings more. Oh, one of the reasons that swimmers make bad runners is swimmers have really good swimmers have great ankle flexibility. Their ankles are too flexible, and they don't, because you got to point your toes the wrong way all the time. And you don't get the rubber band effect in your ankles like you would if you were a pure runner. How about that? So that points to when you run, you ought to be, there's something. Alright, I'm back, sorry. Somebody weird just walking down the street. Okay, so you want to rubber band off your legs, off your ankles, because the rubber banding action of your tendons takes 0 calories. And the more you do it, the more efficient, the faster you can run on fewer calories. And that's why they were saying if you stretch before a race, you're ruining that rubber band effect for like half an hour or longer. This is so nice. Alright. So, the lesson learned from the biking is you ought to rubber band hard enough off the ground, or enough off the ground. Oh, we got another person up here. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. You want to bring your leg up, rebound off the ground enough so that your leg comes up in front of you enough for there to create a gap of the footbed of your running shoe and the ball of your foot. For you to actually notice it. And if you watch really talented runners run, you see how high up their knee comes up in front of them. That's that stretch. Right? That's that stretch. Where you're pulling the leg up. Just like if you're throwing a baseball, you're cranking your arm back. And then that tendon stretch helps accelerate the leg back down. So when it makes contact with the ground, it's got extra push behind it. It's pretty cool. Alright, that's enough for tonight. I think I forgot to log that last part. Oh well, it's alright, I don't really care. I'll just add it on in the log, another 5 minutes and half a mile. All right, that's it. Out, bang. All right, I'm back. Got the car loaded up with the bike in the back. That took some extra time this morning because I don't want the bike hanging off the back while I'm swimming in a not fantastic part of town. And so I had to cram that thing in there. And then the BMC has the fork on it that's so aero that it doesn't want to turn all the way to the side or else it scrapes it up. Can you believe that? The bikes have gotten so advanced you can't ride them. Anyway, so that was tough getting it in the car. And then I'm driving down the freeway. I didn't close the tailgate tight enough, so every time I accelerate, the cargo light in the back starts lighting up. And had a nice swim. 2.4 miles per hour, which is a 1 hour Ironman swim. Going a little bit too fast, but I was enjoying it. I bonked a little bit, and I just still had about 15 minutes left, 20 minutes left, and I just kind of backed off the pace a little bit and let body fat kind of fill the void and pick up the blood sugar again, and then kept on swimming. And once you bonk, if you slow down your pace, you can actually recover. And it just matters how fast and how sensitive you are to knowing that you're bonking and that you're going too hard and you're running out of glycogen. And just slow down a little bit, and you can actually pick back up. I remember one time Vinny Torres said, you can't recover from a bonk, but you can. You totally can. I've done it 1,000,000 times. And it might be a relaxing day at work, and I'll keep reasons for that to myself. But I'm kind of looking forward to experiment, see if it's nice and easy. And I got to take my bike to the bike shop because there's a creak in the crank. And if you don't take care of that, you could end up warping your bolts and stuff like that, and then messing up your crank. So I'm going to swing it by the shop, see if they can tighten it up, and also lower my aero bars just a hair. And that's it. All right. Out. Bang. Boop. That's what our girl said. All right. I dropped my bike off at the bike shop, and they could not fix it right off the bat. It's got a creak in the crank. And also made a comment on a Slow Twitch forum. Oh, the bike shop has a dog named Arrow, and I thought they meant ARROW, and they go, no, like Arrow as in aerodynamic. And it's a 5-month-old kind of golden retriever mostly. It's really cute, and it at one point it just spazzed out and it just started running around the bike shop like a fool, like dogs can do sometimes. So it was pretty funny. And then it started chewing on a piece of plastic that they didn't know where it got it from, and they were yelling at it to cut it out. And anyway, forum on Slow Twitch. Hey, the inside of my thighs hurt when I ride the bike on the trainer. And I wrote back, your knees are out too far, and you're using your inside of your thighs to pull your knees in as you pedal. And then somebody else said, well, if it's on your trainer and then not when you're riding outdoors, then there's something in the rocking of your body back and forth that's not helpful. That's causing some of this because the bike's locked down, so you're fighting it with the inside of your legs, and that's wearing you out. But anyway, the guy replied back to me, well, it can't be my knees splaying out too much because I've had a bike fit. And that's a big problem right there when people think that. I said, don't let a bike fit become a religion. Just because you are fit to your bike one time doesn't mean that it works. The whole point, things change. Like your flexibility changes, where you sit on your saddle changes, cleats slip, saddle rails move. Things move by accident sometimes, and as your body adapts to a position, you move. And it only takes like a millimeter or two for something to start feeling bad because you're doing just tons of repetition, on a bike. 90 RPM, It's 90 rotations per minute times 2 hours. It's a lot of rotations for something to start bothering you. And hold on, I just got distracted by a car, a G-Wagon. The point is, the point of the bike fit is, what you should do is go, oh, this is what it means to feel good on a bike. This is how feel good feels, right? Then that's your goal, is to make your bike riding feel that good all the time. And if it doesn't feel that good anymore, then you need to change the position. Don't get stuck with a position because you believe that that's the right way, because things change. And the problem is your ego gets involved because you've spent money on a bike fit, right? And if you change your bike fit, well, then you basically threw your money away and you were wrong. And you don't want to be wrong. So you keep riding with it hurting. And, God, there's actually a psychological term for this. And it's the further things go bad, the more you stick with it and the more money you dump into a bad investment. Because you want to be right. You want to be right so bad. And you can't be right because it's not right. Anyway, and I thought it was funny. I didn't go into this on the thread about, don't treat the bike fit like a religion, like it has to be. Actually, don't be a fundamentalist with your bike fit. And what that means is the point of a religion is to make you feel better, right? I mean, that's the real point, is to make you feel better. And if the religion isn't making you feel better anymore, well, then it's time to change religions or find a different viewpoint into that same religion and change things up so that you feel better. If it makes you feel miserable, well, then it's not working for you. And what you should be searching for in a religion or a belief system is something that makes you feel great and makes you productive and it makes you happy. And when you should always be searching for that. There's a dude riding a moped with no helmet. And that goes back to, it goes back to everything. The point of everything is to make you feel great. And if something's making you feel miserable, well, then you're not doing it right. So work on your bike fit. And for example, I'm lowering my handlebars, but just by half of a centimeter, I think. And if it doesn't end up feeling great, then they're going back. Because the point isn't to lower my handlebars. The point is to feel great. But you also need to know, with a lot of things, that your handlebars can be a lot lower than you think. Sometimes it's just a flexibility issue, and you just need to spend a little bit of time in that position, and over time it gets to not feel so bad, and it ends up being fine. So you try a new position and commit to it for a little while, and then let it change. And I said on the thread that it's starting to rain outside. I said on the thread that you don't want to change because you paid money for your bike fit, and if your ego will say if you change it, then you threw your money away, and because it's like $100, $200, $300 for a good bike fit, then you're a fool because you threw your money away, and you can't be a fool. And once you admit to yourself that you can be a fool and that you can be foolish on occasion, then you can constantly improve. And that's a lot of Zen and letting go. And life, I've gotten to that point where I can drop something because it's not working for me anymore, and then try something new, and admit that I didn't know what I was doing, and that things have changed, and it's great on the other side of that fence, being like, oh, it's not working, so I'm going to change and find out what works, and then this may change after a while, and then that may change, and that may change, but you have to be willing to not be right, and that can be hard to do. All you got to do is do it a few times, and not being right, being okay with not being right becomes extremely powerful, because now your abilities are universal instead of just tied down to one belief system. It's pretty cool. All right, that's it. I need to go eat. Out, bang. All right, in the ZenTri Mobile Studios, head into W to the RK. Oh. And, sorry. The run this morning was really good. So last night, didn't run, didn't do anything. Played basketball with Emily and Kai. And that's quite interesting, because if I used to play basketball on the school team, middle school, 7th and 8th grade, so I'm not terrible. The thing is I haven't really played much since then, so I'm pretty terrible. And it's funny having skills that suck, that you used to have, and then now you kind of suck at it. But I'm towering over Emily, who used to play basketball as well, probably in middle school, maybe high school some. And then, and Emily's super, super competitive with me, and she doesn't have the skills anymore that she used to have. So watching us try to dribble and try to shoot, because if you don't play basketball a lot, you get really inaccurate and really bad ball handling skills pretty quick. And I told Emily, listen, give me a year of training and I'll beat you, but and then Kai never played basketball on any team. He's actually a pretty good shot, but he's terrible as well because he's 9. And the three of us playing 2-on-1, they like to gang up on me because I tower over them. They go for a shot and I just swat it out of the air. It's pretty funny. But then I get the ball and then I try to shoot it, and I can't even make a layup because my skills are all off. So I had this idea that, man, we ought to go to the park after dinner to work off whatever we're doing, more often. It's pretty cool. So wait, hold on. I got to pump some gas. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Man, do we really need the speakers in the gas pump blaring out stuff on really poor quality audio, telling us to buy crap we don't need to impress people we don't really even like? Just like, jeez. Oh my god. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is now at $15 million. Okay, so what? Anyway, the thing is, I didn't run last night, even though I could have run last night, because there's a school of thought that I like, that if you subscribe to, you don't have to do it all the time. The whole thing is just to do stuff as needed and know that it works when you need it to work, if you're in that situation. And running on tired legs for working out is kind of dumb, because you're not really improving yourself. So what you do is you don't work out if you know, and it takes time to know, and it takes experience to know, or else you know. But like, I can go out for a run now. I know, and I know I'm gonna have a crappy run. Like my average speed is gonna be pretty slow, right? Well, there's a school of thought that's like, why would you do that? It doesn't improve you. All it does is encourage bad form, and you'd be better off with rest and waiting until you're more recovered and then having a good workout. But then the anal retentive people in us say, oh, but I got to get in a workout. I got to do it, Oh, gas is done. Hold on. I'll be back. Oh. Huh. I guess I left it running. Whenever you pump gas in your car and you're on your cell phone, or you get in and out of your car, you build up a static charge, and then when you reach for the pump and the gas fumes, you could cause an explosion. First thing, it actually won't explode. It'll just catch fire. The second thing, don't pull the gas nozzle out of the hole, because now you're going to spray gas everywhere, and then that's going to catch on fire. So it's supposed to go out on its own, is what it's supposed to do. It won't look like it will, but it will. It'll go out on its own, and get away from it, run. But don't pull the gas nozzle out of the car, or else you're going to spray gas everywhere. So the trick is if you're using your phone or you're getting in and out of the car, make it a habit to touch, after you get out and standing on 2 feet out of the car, touch the car, like on the door panel, away from the gas hole. Don't be a gas hole. And that'll discharge your static charge somewhere else on the car. Like on the door, on a fender, something like that. On the roof, just touch anywhere. Just make it a habit. Just touch, and it releases the static charge that you've built up while you're getting in and out of the car. It's kind of like the static charge, like where you touch a doorknob, and it shocks you, that kind of thing. Anyway, so there's a school of thought: don't exercise if you know that your workout's going to suck, because every workout should be better than the last, technically. Is that actually really possible? Maybe not, but it's kind of possible. So last night I didn't run because I was like, if I ran tonight, it probably wouldn't be all that great anyway, because my legs are just a little bit sore because I biked. I just got out of a meeting and somebody said I should be a night DJ. I work part-time job. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they go, your voice, it's so like mellow and low. And I go, oh yeah, I've heard that before. And so I started doing my routine. I remember it was from either Mad TV or Saturday Night Live or something like that. And it's I just stopped laughing and do it. Welcome to Smooth Beats with your DJ Night Rain. Like that. Everybody started laughing. Oh yeah. Anyway, hey, I'm driving by my old house that was so old that they demolished it before they demolished it, the SWAT team went through it and used it as a training house. That's how bad it was. We had rats in the garage so bad that I used to drink beer and then go out in the garage, and I had a laser pointer attached to a BB pistol for a sight on it, and I would try to shoot rats with I'd put the red dot on them in the garage. I put dog food out in the middle of the garage, and as a rat would come in and nibble on it, I'd go out there and pop them with a BB gun. And one time I shot one, and then I think after I shot him, he was dead already anyways from like poison or something else, and he was already dead, and me shooting him actually didn't do anything, but it made me think that I was a pretty good shot, so, which is not true. I've learned shooting a snake with a BB gun one time that it takes a lot more than a BB from a pistol, which has like no power whatsoever. It just pisses them off, doesn't even do anything, especially from more than a few feet. Anyway, that's kind of a tangent. All right, let's get back to the smooth hits here on Night Rain. Out. Hey, I'm listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. Hey, I'm back, by the way. Which is sometimes a bunch of stoner talk, and then other times it's actually really insightful. And he's interviewing Sam Harris, who's some kind of author that wrote a book about not needing religion or something like that, but that's not the point. But they're talking about mindfulness, and they just described it, or Sam Harris just described it in a way that I found really, really cool. So basically, I'll get to the point that he is talking about in a second. My description is you sit around and learn to ask yourself, I don't say you sit around, you learn to ask yourself, when you're feeling things, you pay attention and then ask yourself if what you're feeling is actually real or if it's something that your body is making up and your mind is making up, right? Because the whole saying is you don't... the best thing in life is to learn that you don't have to believe in your own thoughts. So, an extreme example would be a horror movie makes you scared, but is it real? No, right? But you're scared, so you ask yourself, is there really, a knife-wielding maniac in the closet? No, there's not. So there's no real reason to be scared, right? So, but you can see how the mind can be tricked into making you scared and believing things, sorta. And so, mindfulness in Zen, for example, is paying attention to your feelings and then asking yourself if they're actually valid, or if they're made up, and then you or decide if the feeling is actually worthy of your time to be to pay attention to and use. And if not, then just wait a little bit and it'll probably pass. Because the more you pay attention to this stuff, the more you realize. Oh, and another one is, things pass. But another one is paying attention to your feelings and then realizing how wrong you were about that feeling. There's a lot. I get a lot of emails and work and stuff, and sometimes I get an email and just reading from the person and from the subject, I think it's going to be bad and it's going to be a whole lot of work and whatever. And then so what I do is before I open it, I remember that feeling, and then after opening it, I compare it to what actually happened, and it's never as bad as I thought it was going to be. And so your fears make things seem worse, and then you don't act when you have no idea what's on the other side of that email or whatever. But anyway, Sam Harris was saying a really good point is that knowing all this, you can learn to not waste your energy and get stressed out fighting battles over things that actually don't exist, right? And then you have the energy now to do the things and fight the battles that actually are real, that you need to spend your time on, because you're not wasting a whole lot of calories and anxiety and cortisol stressing out over stuff that actually isn't actually hasn't materialized yet, never did materialize, or it materialized in the past and now it's gone, or isn't actually materializing in the present. So what's the point? And in the future, you don't even know it's going to happen, and half the time it doesn't. So don't worry about it. It's really cool. So Joe Rogan podcast, Sam Harris, out. What's up, home salads? Oh, there's the high school band. Leaving the pool. Oh, man, great swim. Great bike ride last night, too. 4,000 meters in an hour flat. Doing a MAF swim, just getting up to speed and just holding it, without straining too much, just working on form. And actually really working on making sure the top of the foot engages on the kick. 2-beat kick, nice and relaxed kick, but firm. Kind of like if you're kicking with flippers on, you know how you feel it as you kick away from your body? Like that. Like that. And ended up being one of the fastest swims I think I've ever done. And I wasn't really trying. I was trying. I'm always trying to swim as fast as I can, but I wasn't like killing myself or anything. I was just kind of swimming along. So keep your head down low and try to torpedo under the water a little bit. And that 2-beat kick, but firm, so it engages the top of the foot. You can feel it if your foot if you don't angle your foot right and you miss it, your foot slips through the water instead of resists the water. And you want it to resist the water and kick, but not too hard, just enough to help you throw your arm up over the other side. And where's my water bottle? And Ezekiel cereal with whole milk for breakfast, a cup of coffee, a couple of doses of honey, and a flask. You know, they get these running flasks, these fuel flasks that you get when you buy some of the fuel stuff. Probably holds like 5-8 ounces or something like that. Fill it up with, fill it about halfway with honey, and then add a little bit of water and shake it up, and you got runny honey. And gives you plenty of energy, and you don't need much of it. And then last night, I went for a bike ride on my newly fixed bike, and yeah, it doesn't creak anymore, which is a beautiful thing. And they said the bottom bracket was loose. That's what she said. And then I started off with a little bit too much simple sugar in my system and not enough real food, and so I felt I had like energy, like I was kind of all over the place, but I also felt hollow, like I couldn't sustain anything for a long time. So real short bursts, and then I kind of would fall apart. And so I just kept with it, and kept riding, and I stopped at the stupid stop sign and carried my driver's license with me. So, tickets are meant to change behavior, and if you find somebody enough, it'll do that. And then on the way back, my energy level finally kicked in properly, and I did a nice, sustained, really good long ride, long interval. But that reminds me, I got on my bike and started pedaling along, and got nothing from the power meter. It was like, blah! And, you know, I think another time that I picked up my bike from the bike shop, it did the exact same thing. And that's interesting. But anyway, the batteries in it are dead, probably. I talked to the people that own PowerTap, or not the people that own it, people that work for it. And they said they might have a hub coming, like a hub adapter coming that has Bluetooth and... Oh, that reminds me. I had so much fun on the Twitter nets last night with Michael Dirksen. And it might have Bluetooth and ANT in the same hub. What's that rattling sound? I got stuff just rattling around in my car. And all that reminds me of Slow Twitch. Somebody said, hey, I'm looking to buy a luxury car. Which one? American luxury or something. And they said, which one's better, Cadillac or something else? And somebody else said, why in the world would you buy a luxury car? It's a waste of money. Just buy a regular car. Oh, that felt good. And I said, yeah, man, like cars nowadays are like spaceships compared to what they were just a few years back. So this Xterra was super cheap for a new car. And it's just amazing. So anyway, what was my point? So I started off on my ride, and in my heart rate strap, I had one from a Garmin like laying around, and it didn't hold up very well. So it's all like it doesn't read heart rate half the time. Okay, I'm not sure if that recorded or not. Emily called, and if somebody calls, my voice recorder thing like gets all screwed up, and sometimes it loses the what I just recorded. A little traffic jam up here, and people driving a little crazy. So I've had many races where your gear fails on you, so you have to be able to race and ride and work out and whatever without numbers. So the times that it does happen in training, you take it right in the face and be like, well, I'll, like, don't stop your workout is what I'm saying. And like, I can't do my workout, or my workout's ruined because I don't have watts or I don't have heart rate. No, this is an awesome opportunity to practice. What you do is you practice not having the numbers and behaving yourself and trying to train Zen all Zen style, as people say. You know, just kind of by feel. And then, sorry, people are trying to merge into one lane. And oh, there's a police officer, state trooper. There's my friend. And you train by feel, and then what you do is when your workout's over, between that workout and your next one, start working on fixing whatever it is. But don't worry about it too much. Don't stress about it. Freak out, because it's not really going to help. You shouldn't cut a workout short, because during that workout, it's invaluable to know how to fix yourself so that you don't have problems, so you don't overdo it or underdo it, and get used to the frustration of not having your data. And whoa, man, you are a terrible driver. Where'd you learn to drive, dude? Wow. This guy, he's either over-caffeinated or like something. Anyway, Ironman, Wisconsin, my watt meter didn't work for, the first half of the bike ride, and then it finally started working. I lost a contact in that same race too, and I'm really blind. So I had to do the whole race basically with one eye and no depth perception, starting on the bike at the beginning of the bike ride and on an unfamiliar course, with occasional pothole and stuff like that. No depth perception. Try that. I think you could get used to that, but when it happens suddenly, it's all day, and the headache that ensued of having great vision in one eye and horrible vision in the other. That's pretty fun. And lots of races where I did the race in Morgan Hill where my power meter head unit fell off my bike partway through the bike ride. Just fell off of it, I got no numbers now. But usually what I do is I have some sort of head unit on my bike, and then I have the Sunto watch, so I can still I can still record and look at stuff later. So I'm recording in two places. That's just kind of by accident. It's nice to have a dedicated bike computer, and between your hands, and then on your wrist you have like the Ambit 2 or 3. So speaking of that, the Michael Dirksen got MP Dirksen on Twitter got his Ambit 3 yesterday, and then he started posting pictures and included me on the notices that it was getting. He said it was getting text alerts. I said, "Oh, post a picture." So he did, and it's a smartwatch, right? And a fitness tracker. It's pretty cool, all in one. And he goes, he posted a picture, and it said, text alert. It was like from one of his friends, a text message, right? And I said, "Oh, that's cool." And then a while later, he posted a picture. He goes, "It posts Twitter updates too." And he posted a picture of his watch saying, a tweet from me, like, "This is cool," like that. And so then I took that picture and retweeted it saying, "That's cool." And the singularity is in geek culture, nerd culture, it's when we achieve oneness with all knowledge. It's kind of like the internet is singularity. And with computers and artificial intelligence, everything is on all the time. Everything is known. Everything is single, right? Full duality. Everything is one thing. It's called the singularity. And sometimes it's called the technical singularity. You can look it up. It's pretty cool. And I said, I posted on Twitter that the singularity, the ZenTri singularity has been achieved. It's kind of like a picture of yourself with a photo of yourself in a photo of yourself. That's pretty cool. So, I'm waiting at an intersection, stop sign for everybody to. There's this old lady that's a walker. I love her, man. She's kicking ass. She's got her waist packed, gray hair flying in the wind. And so anyway, that's it, man. Really, really good morning. We got Meet the Teacher night with Kai. So if I do anything, I'll have to work it around that. But I've done for 2 days now. I've done some pretty intense stuff, so I might take a break tonight. And I'm recording an interview with Sid Garza Hillman, approaching the natural guy. So I'm going to do that at lunch, I think. It's going to be pretty cool. And then I need to get Tawny back on the show. And speaking of that, I also wrote up my Kona predictions for Thorsten Rad for his Kona predictions paper that he puts out. And it's funny, Jody Swallow's already posting stuff, and she doesn't read that stuff. It's pretty cool. And now you know the insides of the sport. All right, that's it. Out, bang. All right, I'm getting ready for work and leaving the house. I thought I'd record away from the car, although we're going to be putting the microphone down and such as I get stuff done here. And there's so much going on. I want to talk about it. Recorded an interview with Sid Garza-Hillman yesterday, and it is awesome, man. We immediately figure out that we grew up about a mile away from each other for quite a few years. Oh, man, that's going to be in the next podcast. I'm putting on my work shoes. I wear my work socks from the day before, so like Argyle or whatever I happen to be wearing from office wear, as my athletic socks for running or cycling later that day. Like if I bike or run that evening, I wear them. And it's a way to save money on washing socks. I figure nobody's going to see me or nobody cares, so I'll wear, there's cotton, old, whatever socks. It's only an hour workout, so who really cares? So this morning, I woke up and put on my work socks from yesterday because they're already kind of dirty because I wore them all day yesterday. And then got on the bike and had a killer trainer ride, riding the new Beta. Y'all don't have it yet because Morgan's working on it. Got some changes still. But trainer view. And, oh my God, it's awesome. So I'm riding around Lake Tahoe. So it's a website, trainer, it's realtimeathlete.com. And then there's a beta version that's going to come out that is just mind-blowingly good. And then got off the bike, and I figured out that the perfect recovery stuff for me is chocolate ice cream coming right off the bike or right off the run to cool down. It's so hot here in Texas, and it really does cool you down really quick. And let's see, what is another thing? I bought sriracha sauce at the grocery store last night. I'm going to take it to work and leave it in the break room with a note that says, free for everybody. I'm like a sriracha evangelist. And we got some Amrita bars over here. I'm going to take them to work in case I want a snack. And a couple other things. Oh, and I got off the bike. And while I'm eating, I eat it right out of the container. Just a few spoons. I think maybe 5 or 6 spoons maybe of chocolate ice cream. Not much. And you could do coconut ice cream if you want to be vegan or whatever. But it's really impressive how much it cools you. And while I'm cooling down in the kitchen, I get out my ingredients for my green smoothie. Because there's no point in taking a shower while you're still sweating. It's kind of dumb. So while I'm cooling down, what am I looking for? A bag. I get out my green smoothie, make my green smoothie. I put it in a thermos with some ice. And let's see. Yeah. Hold on. I'm eating while triathletes eat. Oh, I'm doing Trainer View. What it does, it's Google Street View, and it stitches it together. It's awesome. So you can make anywhere where there's Google Street View, you can make a course and ride it. And it's like a hill profile and speed and distance, and you can change all this stuff. And then any place that's been ridden in Map My Ride, they have a database, and his Trainer View will go and search the database for anything that you type in. And you pick it, and it just loads it in. And Morgan's a freaking genius. And then if you get the pro version, it saves your profile and like stuff you've done and whatever. Well, I got to retie my shoe. So I'm riding along, and there's like stop signs and state troopers, because it's Google Street View. I'm just like blowing through all that stuff, just laughing. Ha ha! Oh, and another thing that is super cool is I've been trying coconut oil in different ways, mixed in with my workouts, and it really freaking works, and you don't need much. Like one spoonful is like 100 calories or something like that because it's oil, It's straight liquid energy. And I think if you take too much, you'll actually get sick to your stomach. What is this? Okay. Getting the TV dinner just in case I get hungry at work. I have a little refrigerator next to me at my desk. I bought it and brought it to work one day. That way I can keep healthy food nearer to me without having to go around searching for it. And let's see, we need headphones. Got my work badge. Oh, I'm going to be late again. I'm not late every time. I'm just late every time y'all hear me record. Hold on. Okay, so can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Wait, turn the wrong way. No, that's the right way. All right. So I got my green smoothie. Got a little bit of beef jerky, just in case. Feel like I want some. Got Amrita bars. Got a crappy TV dinner. And my free sriracha I'm going to give to everybody. And headphones. And this is going to be it for this podcast. I need to go brush my hair a little bit while I still have some. Mont Tremblant is this weekend. I need to get Tawny back on the show. The coconut stuff. So, I'm trying to figure out a way. Coconut oil turns solid-ish at just 76 degrees. And it has to be over 76 degrees for it to be liquid. And then when it's liquid, it floats. So like how to mix it in with fuel so that it's an even mixture is really beyond me so far. But like this morning I had a cup of coffee and I stirred in just a little bit of coconut oil with it. And then I had some cereal. I had some Raisin Bran cereal. And not much, just some. Hold on, I'm putting my belt on. And then for fuel on my bike ride, I did just like a spoonful of coconut oil, so maybe 100 calories, and then some maltodextrin honey. And I put in hot water at first, just a little bit, to make it all mix really well, which it does. And then put in, after it was all mixed, put in regular water. And then shook it up, and then, so it was like a nice bottle, probably about 200 calories, 250 calories of fuel. And then, no doggies, you're not coming inside. And then, I think I have everything. And then after that, I got on the bike, and it's really weird. Hold on. I'm coming. I got to zip up everything over here. I got to get all my crap and turn off everything. This is the formula for forgetting something and then getting to work and going, crap. Like trying to do a lot of things while you're leaving the house. So I'm checking the house, make sure all the lights are off, everything's locked up. All right, let's walk out of the estate, the long walk down the driveway here, past the stables and the Bentleys and the Rolls Royces. And we're walking, and we're here. Smells like the devil's anus. Like Satan's football team's locker room. Oh, that smells so bad. Kai loves his scooter so much that we got that tall-wheeled scooter on the last episode that I talked about. That he rides it around the house and he's brushing his teeth with an electric toothbrush and trying to ride the scooter with one hand, which is actually pretty hard to do. And then he's feeding the dogs their food and water while on his scooter. And that's an indicator of a toy or a device that's just the best, So I highly recommend it. And then, anyway, the trippy thing about the coconut oil, that's what I want to wrap up this show with. Sid Garza Hillman next episode, and coconut oil. I have not figured out totally how to do coconut oil as fuel, but the times that I've used it, it is impressive because it's, you just have your energy just feels like granite, like a freaking, igneous rock. And you're like, this is incredible. I feel like I've got so much energy, but it doesn't feel like cheap energy. It feels so stable, Like if it was a car, it'd have a wide wheelbase. You're like, wow, this is my body feels like it's got a wide wheelbase right now. Go through this turn without tipping over. And just stable. So, like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to mix it in with fuel because I'm on the bike and the room temperature's probably 75 or something like that. So 74. So the coconut oil starts to turn kind of solid in little tiny pea-sized clumps in the fuel mixture, And I'm like, is this coming through? Is this, I don't know. Is it going to fit when it's clumpy like that through a bottle? Or do you need to put it in a, it's football game weekend. We got people driving around with flags sticking out the top of their car. Hold on. School zone. All right, I'm back, I think. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Oh, that's weird. Got a lot of construction up ahead. So, exited the school zone. So, how do you do the coconut oil and make it work cheaply, and then make it work so it mixes with your fuel reliably, so you're actually getting it? Because imagine going out on a cold run or whatever. Do you put it in some kind of toothpaste squeeze tube and squeeze out a little bit every once in a while? Like a separate flask. Now you're talking about separate things. To we got a dump truck getting up on a curb. Got to go around them. Construction. Economy in Texas. If you can stand the heat, it's good. Anyway, and then you're talking about carrying along extra stuff, and then you got to squeeze it out too, and you got to get it in the tube, which actually is not that hard. You just heat up the oil until it's liquid, and then you pour it into whatever you're going to squeeze it out of. And so do I need to get some kind of squeezy thing? Put coconut oil in every once in a while, and just do a dab, and then. But I can tell you what's nice is you're sitting there, you can tell by the way I'm talking and how enthusiastic I am this morning. I'm on top of things, got stuff straightened out. That even though I'm late, that it's tons of energy without being it all coming from sugar. So it's good for your insulin. It's good for your teeth. So that reminds me, I got a green smoothie. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up the show so I can focus on getting to W to the ERK. And, yeah, let's see. Sid Garza Hillman. The 70.3 championships are this weekend. Oh, holy crap. So I'm minding my own business yesterday, just doing work, I'm hitting the keyboard, and I'm watching, where's my supervisors? and I'm a supervisor, so where's the people that I'm at? You know, going to this meeting, checking my calendar, getting work done, you know, filing TPS reports, sorting cover sheets, adding and removing printers from my installs. And I look up at Twitter on my computer screen. I got it just kind of over on the right-hand side, and I follow lots of triathletes because it's good motivation to follow people that are... Mark Maron, who's a podcaster, very good podcast, that he's so neurotic, though, that it wears me out, so I quit listening to him. But I do follow him on Twitter, and he said there's a fine line between positivity, being positive, and being a sociopath. It's like, yes, that is so true. You start getting so positive, you start thinking that you can do anything, and you start crushing people underneath you to get to do your anything. That you stop caring about other people. That's one of the definitions of a sociopath, is you start ranking yourself over society, you know, to do what you want to do. This path means to kill, I think, and socio, you know, society. So you crush society that's in your way because you're so positive. You can do anything. Anyway, I think I might get that framed or something. Anyway, so I'm on my own business, and all of a sudden Twitter just goes, "Hey, Brett. Hey, Triathlon World. Guess what? Challenge just merged or bought or something." That's still, we'll find out through the sociopath detectives and Slow Twitch will figure it out. The Challenge just merged / bought Rev 3, and now they're going to rebrand, so starting next year, all the Rev 3 races, Challenge races. And Rev 3's already got a big presence in the United States, and Challenge has a big presence around the rest of the world. And Challenge is the race company that does Challenge Roth, which has 10,000 competitors in a race or something, and it's the biggest freaking race out there. And Challenge is the company that's doing that, that's working with the Arabs over there in, I don't know if they're Arabs in Dubai or not, or Abu Dhabi, that have oil money like crazy. They make Texans with oil money look like peasants. And they've got so much oil money that the money they're throwing at triathlon is ridiculous. And the Challenge, what is it? Is it Bahrain? Is it Challenge? I can't remember, but there's going to be a huge race later this year where the prize money is insane. And a whole lot of pros are like, screw WTC, we're going to start racing Challenge stuff. Well, where's the Challenge stuff in the United States? Well, now there is, because they got Rev 3. So just huge news. Huge news. And WTC's got to be like freaking out about this. And yeah, I just think it's so cool. So we'll talk about that with Tawny, I bet, and what that means, because it's really complicated stuff. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Everybody stay safe out there. Worked up hills, cruised down hills, all that good stuff. And I'm trying to think what else we got. I think that's it. All right. I need a little less caffeine. I haven't had hardly any. Had a cup of coffee. That's it. So yeah, the coconut oil. Definitely give it a try. And like I was saying, it's really high calorie. So you got to kind of watch out for that. That can creep up on you. And also anything, it's oil, so it's grease. So you eat anything like oily, greasy, eat too much of it, it'll make you kind of sick to your stomach. So the thing is you don't need that much of it because it's so high calorie. Anyway, I'll leave you all with that. Investigate. Report back. All right, that's it. Everybody stay safe out there. Keep the rubber side down. Out.